I lie on my bed pretending to be asleep, listening to the light movements in the room and occasional giggles from Rose. Tina is trying her best to hush her, but how long a baby can stay silent? Suddenly the bed dipped a little, and I felt small soft hands of my daughter on my cheeks, followed by a sloppy kiss from her. I laughed and pulled her into my arms, tickling her, causing her to have a fit of laughter. I pulled her into my lap, sitting up in the process, and tried to assess the still dark room, wondering what Tina is up to now. Then I heard a soft click of a lighter as the center of the room is lit by candlelight, and my wife's smiling face came into view. "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to dear Dimitri, happy birthday to you," she sang as she came close to the bed with the cake, signaling me to blow the candles, and I did. "Happy birthday, Alpha," she said with a sweet smile. Birthday, Data," Rose recited as her mother taught her. "Thank you, sweetheart," I thanked her with a kiss, and tickled her by rubbing my chin with light stubbles on her face. I cut the cake and fed a piece each to both my wife and my child. "Rose has something to give you, daughter." "Right, Rosie?" Tina asked the giggling little girl, placing the cake on the bedside table and standing up with Rose in her arms, smiling sweetly, and walked into the closet with the little girl. I heard a little shuffling before the both of them came into view again now. Little Rose has a rectangular package clutched in her arms which she is trying to eat. Tina is supporting it with her free hand. "Give that to Daddy, sweetheart," she told the little one, kissing her softly on the head, which she slowly and reluctantly complied to. "Come on, open it. You will like it," she urged me softly, which I followed happily. It was a painting from the looks of it, done by Rose. It has got baby handprints all over it in different colors. A smile made its way to my lips even without knowing it. "Daddy loves it, baby. Thank you so much." I thanked the baby and kissed her forehead, who smiled at me and yawned. Soon she started to get fuzzy, signaling us it's time for her to go back to bed. "Can you hold her for a minute, Dimitri? I need to put the cake in the refrigerator," Tina said, trying to hand Rose over to me, but Rose just hung on to her neck without any intention to let go. "It's okay. You put her back to bed. I will take the cake downstairs," I told her as I picked up the cake and walked downstairs. "She hasn't given me any birthday gift yet," she mentioned. "The photo frame is from Rosie. I wonder what she has in store for me. Whether she already have one for me or not, I am determined to ask her a specific one, which I have in my mind since a few weeks. I was just waiting for the right time, and I have it now." A smile crept into my lips as the thought crossed my mind. I just hope she will be ready for what I am going to ask her, or else I will wait till she's ready, but I know now is the time to let her know it. The house was dark. Nobody is aware of the little celebration we had in our bedroom. I always wanted this rather than the big celebration pack organized. I felt so special to have a special private celebration with my wife and kid, my family. I saw Tina coming out of Rose's room, closing the door softly behind her as I got the top stairs. "She is asleep?" I asked her softly as I joined her to walk to our room. Our room, even that simple words make my heart fill with a lot of happiness. The youth who once dreamed about a large family and a beautiful life with his mate and kids is back in me. She was out like a light when I put her to bed. I just tugged her in, she said as she opened the door. An awkward silence settled between us, which is unusual. I have no idea how to approach the subject. I was thinking about talking to her. "I think we should head to bed now. You have to wake up early for the training," Tina said, breaking the creepy silence. Before I could shy out, I grabbed her hands in mine. She paused and looked at me. I struggled to find my voice and form meaningful sentences. This is the first time he ever talked to me about what happened with our mate. Even though my human is getting warmed up to Tina, I was not sure how my wolf is taking it or feeling for her wolf. His little comment relaxed me a bit. "Are you alright, Dimitri? You are spacing out." I looked at Tina to see her looking at me with concern. Yeah, I'm fine. I wanted to ask you something, but I could not find the right words," I told her, looking at her like a lost kid. "Okay. Come, let's sit and talk," she said, smiling. It dragged me to the window seat, which she set up a few months back, her favorite reading spot. She gently squeezed my arms when we sat down, urging me to talk. I gently interleaved our fingers and tugged her closer. She rested her head on my shoulder, hugging my arms. We sat like that for a while before I got the courage to start talking. You know I haven't got any present from you, I told her softly. She sighed, burying her face more into my arms. I know. I am just waiting for the right moment. I nodded. Can I ask you something like the gift? I asked her expectantly. If you have something specific in your mind, then yes, she told me, still not moving from her position. Yes, I do. But you have to give me that only if you are completely okay with it. Go on, Dimitri, you don't need a long introduction with me. After all, we are husband and wife, right? She said, drawing comforting circles in my arms with her free hand. Yes, after all, we are husband and wife. I repeated after her. That is what I want. I want us to be a family, a real family, not just two friends living with an agreement to raise a little girl. I want Rose to grow up in love, seeing, love, feeling it, knowing what is like being in love. I don't want her to think she was a liability to us, that we had to sacrifice our life for her only. More than that, I want a second chance in love and life, a chance with you. I want a family, Tina, a family with you, Rose, and more little Tinas and Dimitri's, a big family. A place where I can come home to, where I know you will be waiting for me with a sweet smile, a smile that assures me that everything will be all right, that a better tomorrow awaits. When we married, we made sure our relationship would be strictly friend-zoned, but I am getting greedy. I want more. I want to love. I know this is all too much to ask from you, but I want you to consider this. I want you to know that at any point of time you feel like having a real family, I will be waiting for you. It doesn't matter how long you take, whether it's days, months, or year, I will be here waiting for you. I finished my little speech and waited. Tina doesn't speak or move while I was talking. She is not moving now either. I was starting to think that she fell asleep and did not hear anything. I said I was about to get up from the seat and carry her to the bed when she suddenly stood from her seat and walked over to the bed without looking back at me. My heart is beating fast in my chest. I know she can hear it. I couldn't move. I can feel a small pain developing in my chest. I can hear my wolf's whimpers in my head. I felt sorry for him as well. I have expected this. I know there is a chance that she will walk away from us, that she will reject us, but I couldn't accept it when it happened. I couldn't understand why the goddess forsakes me like this. She is still going through the bedside table as if searching for something. I stayed at my spot, waiting for her to say something, or at least walk out of the room or get into bed to sleep. Suddenly, she stopped searching and turned to face me with the brightest smile on her face and walked over to me. I am completely confused, watching her cautiously. My heart melted when I looked into her eyes. There was a lot of emotions, happiness, a tint of sadness, and there is something else different. I think my emotions and lights are playing a trick on me. Might be my lack of sleep. I am seeing love in her eyes, but I don't want to keep my hopes up, so I stayed silent, waiting for her to start talking. When I was 15, I went on a field trip with my class to a wolf village near the mountains. We stayed there for a week. It's a very old village which has a lot of stories and legends running around, a place where people will sit around a campfire every night and listen to the stories the elders share with them. One night, an old lady from the village told us a story, the story of a wolf who fell in love with the moon, about the forbidden love between the wolf and moon goddess. Every night when the moon comes up, the wolf will go to the mountaintop where it's close to the sky and howls to the moon to come down to join him. Every night the goddess descends to earth to spend the night in her lover's arms. They shared the purest love that even the gods grew jealous. They said that love between a mortal and immortal is forbidden. They banned the goddess from descending to earth. She stopped and looked at me with sadness in her eyes. I know she is thinking about Mike now, about the fate that separated them. I took her arms and pulled her to sit on my lap. She relaxed to me, placing her face on the crook of my neck. I rubbed soothing circles on her arms and pressed my face on her shoulder, urging her to continue her story. But that did not stop the wolf. Every night he kept going to the hill, calling for his lover. He howls whole night, calling for her again and again, putting all his agony and pain in it. She sighed and snuggled close. His health starts to disintegrate, but that did not stop him from going to the hill to call out for his love. It hurts the goddess to watch her lover going on a suicidal mission like that. She tried to cast a spell on him to make him forget her, but his love for her is so strong that even the most powerful magic did not work on him. Even her love for him was overwhelming her. She then split her soul, created a she-wolf from one part of the soul, filled her with the whole love the goddess felt for her lover, and sent her to Earth. Despite his resistance, he fell in love with the she-wolf. The moment he laid his eyes on her, he knew she was a part of his lover's soul, a part of that wanted to be with him, his soulmate. He was the first wolf to find his mate. After that, moon goddess took it upon herself to find the perfect match for every wolf. She created a mate for every wolf so that all the wolf will feel the bliss her lover felt. She cherished them, protected them for her. All the wolves became her children. She finished her story, and we stayed in comfortable silence for a few minutes. At that time Michael was still alive. I truly felt the story as if it is my story. I decided to share this story with him only after we mated so that it will be a special moment for us. I also bought something for him to remember that moment. She said hesitantly, then only I noticed that she held something in her hand. She opened her hand, revealing a wolf pendant, a wolf sitting on a crescent moon, howling. The whole locket was made of black metal. The crescent is decorated with an intriguing pattern of stars and vines. I found this pendant on the market the very next day. It reminded me of the story so strongly. The lonely wolf calling for his lover, she said with a small smile, tugging her lips. She then sat straight and looked into my eyes. I bought these for Mike initially as a reminder of our love, but with everything that happened I buried these deep inside my treasure chest, like I buried my heart to keep it safe from getting more hurt. But I was keeping myself away from all the love and happiness that surrounded me as well. At first Rose managed to break through it even without knowing. I fell in love with our little girl. I wanted to be her mother, someone she will look up to, someone she loves and trusts. Even this marriage was just for her at first. She stopped me by placing her index finger on my lips when I tried to interrupt her. Let me complete it. I might not be able to do this if you stop me now. That was enough to shut me up, and I listened to her silently. When I get to know you and started spending time with you, I know you are a good person, a good friend. Deep down in you I saw a person who was hurt and afraid to trust anyone, someone who has buried his heart deep inside like I did. As time passes, I found myself more and more drawn to you. I wanted to take away your pain and replace it with happiness and happy memories. I started thinking less about Mike and more about you. I found myself waiting for you eagerly when you are out on your business trips. My mood lightened up whenever you are around, and a smile always crawls into my lips whenever I see you. I don't know whether it is the same as what I felt for Mike. This is a different feeling, something I started to embrace in me. I feel greedy about it. I want it more and more with each passing moments. She then leaned forward and tied the pendant with the black metal chain around my neck. This is my birthday present to you. This is the call of a lover. I might not be able to say those 3 words out loud now, but I am willing to give life a try. I sat there just like that. I don't even want to blink. I was afraid if I blink all this will just disappear and I will wake up from this beautiful dream. Are you all right, Dimitri? You are spacing out again. Her voice, laced with concern, penetrated my dreamy haze. Please tell me this not a dream. Pinch me and wake me up. No, no. Don't wake me up. This dream is so good to end. I started rambling non-stop. She started laughing, and her laugh sounded like music to my ears. You are not dreaming, silly, she said, leaned forward and placed a soft peck on my cheeks. This is the first time she ever kissed me. It was always me pecking her cheeks or forehead when we are with our pack to show affection between the Alpha and Luna. If this is not S dream, then I am not satisfied with that little peck, my dear. Let me show you how a real kiss is. With that I cupped her cheek on my palms and brought her face close to me and kissed her sweet rosy lips. After a few seconds, she started responding to my kiss by moving her lips. Her lips were soft and sweet, more than what I imagined. Once we pulled away, she was flushed and shyly lowered her eyes, biting her lips. I slightly tugged at her lips with my fingers to stop her from biting it, and I hugged her tightly without disturbing our peaceful posture. I stood up from the window seat and made my way to the bed. It was 3 inches the morning. I did not know this much time has passed after midnight celebration. I pulled the blanket out with one hand and placed Tina softly on the bed, got in myself and pulled the blanket over both of us. Tina snuggled closer to me and sighed as she relaxed into my arms, sleep consuming her slowly. I looked down at her calm, beautiful sleeping face. I kissed her forehead and myself drifted into a deep, relaxed sleep. Running through the wood in wolf form early in the wood is always exciting any other day, but not today. Today, all I want to do is be in my bed snuggling with my beautiful wife. I was practically dragged out of the bed by Philip this morning because our patrol caught some rogues trespassing our borders, claiming as messengers. Saying I am a little grumpy was an understatement. Now I'm running towards the southern borders of our pack, flanked by Philip and Jace from both the sides. I left Ethan, my gamma, in charge of the pack house in case this is something, just to take us away from the pack house. After clearing the air with Tina last night, both Tristan and me are overprotective about our newfound happiness. I smiled to myself when the face of my family came to mind. I left a note for Tina on the bedside stand that I had to leave because of a rogue emergency. She looked so beautiful in her deep sleep I couldn't resist but place a soft kiss on her temple before walk out of the room. As we get closer to the southern borders, my heightened sense of smell picked up the stench of the rogues. There are about 3 of them. Soon we could see the group of the rogues and the pack patrol team, some of the team members in human form surrounding the rogues, who are kneeling on the ground with their hand behind their head, and few of our trackers in their wolf form to chase down the rogues if they decide to run. We stopped a few feet away from the group and shifted to our human form, and wore some shorts passed on by a team member. I could hear the rogues' whimpers when they see 3 powerful men of the pack. I sighed when I looked at them. Kids again. Give me a reason not to kill you for trespassing. Rogues, I told them with alpha power in each word. Our alpha want you to read this. The kid looks older of the 3 stuttered as he passed me a parchment of paper which looked like a letter. The letter stench with the smell of dried blood. I knew why as soon as saw the words in the letter. That bastard had written the letter in blood, and it smelled so familiar. Suddenly, one of the trackers in wolf form started growling and charged towards the kids, but he was stopped in time by one of the fighters in the group by tackling him down to the ground, where he kept struggling. I sighed, recognizing the smell of Roy, one of our civilians who went missing last week, who happens to be the best buddy of Alan, who charged to the rogues. I think we can stop searching for Roy now, Jace muttered as he stared at the letter in my arms. Enough, Alan, stop attacking them. I commanded him to stop attacking the kids. They are just newbies, they might not even know what had happened. Go back to the pack and deliver the information to Roy's parents. I know he could not deny a direct alpha order, so he had no other choice but obey me. I turned back to the kids, who are now covering into a corner of the circle formed by the patrol team. Now, we don't know what had happened. The girl in the group said she looked barely 12 with dirty blonde hair or dull brown hair. Our pack abandoned us when our parents died. We had no choice but join the rogues. I surveyed the little group. The elder boy looked around 13 and the little boy might be 10, too young to be rogues. I sighed. Take them to the cell in the basement. Keep them there till we are sure their story is valid. I told them as shifted my attention back to the parchment in my arms. Happy birthday, Alpha. I think it's time you hand over my mate what is supposed to be hers. Her daughter, Alpha of Rogues. A fierce growl left my lips as I read the note. That bitch, she did enough damage when she rejected her mate and her newborn daughter. Now, she wants to take our pup from us, Tristan growled, in my head. She will not have her. Rose is our child, we will protect her, I told him. Jace Philip. I need extra guards on Rosalind and Celestina. One of you should be with them all the time. Install more cameras around the house and in Rose's room. I ordered them as I shifted and ran back to the pack house. I want to see my daughter now, want to feel her in my arms to calm my raging emotions. she left the child when she was less than 6 months old. She did not hesitate a second before signing away all her rights on the child as a mother. From that day my little girl only had her father in her life until Tina came into our life. Now that everything is back to normal and we all are getting our lives back, she decided to come back and ruin us. I will not let her ruin our happiness. I will not let her split our family. With that thought we ran faster to our child and wife. I watched as the gray wolf charged towards the sandy brown wolf, aiming for its flanks. The other wolf, still disoriented from the last attack, didn't see it coming. Just as the gray wolf was about to launch the attack, a sharp whistle blew, signaling a stop upon the sudden distraction. The gray wolf lost its balance and crashed into the sandy wolf. Both of them tumbled into the ground. Donna, you need to work on your balance. You can't crash into anything near you like that. Celestina's voice rang from the direction of the whistle sound. And Roxy, you need to practice more and increase your stamina. Eat proper food. Your mom said you are claiming to be on diet and not eating. That is one of the reasons you got dizzy during the fight. It goes for all of you girls. Eat proper food. You need proper nutrition in your body if you want to be a strong warrior one day, and this is not done in a single day. You need to work out daily. Now get back to practice, everyone. Do 4 laps around the field. Now go. The girls groaned out loud, but on her whistle the group of girls, they started on a slow jog. Come on, pick up speed. Should I dictate the speed limit as well? Donna and Roxy, shift, get dressed and join your group. I chuckled lightly at the little whine the girls let out before going behind the trees to shift and get dressed. As I walked up to my wife to stand beside her. Go a little soft on them, sweetheart, they are little girls. They are not used to the fights and training. I told her as I put my arms around her waist and pull her closer to me with her back to my front and softly kissing her neck. Exactly, that is why I'm being hard on them. If we are lenient, they will never learn and will remain weak whole their life. This is for their own good. They will understand this one day, she said, relaxing in my arms. You are so stressed, let someone else handle the rest of the training session. Let's go and get Rose from Aunt Wilma, I said, pulling her out of the training field. She sighed, knowing there is no use in arguing with me, and signaled for her assistant to take over. We walked hand in hand into old Beta's house, stopping occasionally to say hi to the pack members who greeted us. The pack love their new Luna. I can see that in the way they looked at her with respect and adoration. And there is a huge change in their attitude towards Rose as well. They started seeing her as mine and Tina's daughter, not as the daughter of my runaway mate. Walking into Aunt Wilma's kitchen, our nostrils are attacked by the mouth-watering aroma of baked goodies, reminding me of my childhood and my mother. Mom loved to cook and bake. She made sure the cookie jars are full all the time. Loud squeals and laughter brought me out of my thoughts, and I found myself standing alone in the doorway of my aunt's home. Tina is nowhere to be seen. I followed the sounds to the kitchen. I couldn't help but laugh at the scene in front of me. Seems like Aunt Wilma was trying to make some cookies, and Rose decided to help. Both Rose and Aunt Wilma's covered in flour, and Tina is trying to catch a slippery Rose from under the table. Even she had flour on her hair within this short time. I disguised my laughter into a cough to avoid the wrath of my aunt, and my wife, catching the attention of my daughter Rose, made a beeline to my arms from her safe position under the table as soon as she sees me. Dada, she squealed as she crawled fast into my arms. Are you giving trouble to Grandma Wilma, little Rose? I asked her as I hugged her and lifted her up. No, we playing, she replied, taking her time to remember the words her mother taught her. Oh, yeah. She is playing with flour and eggs and messing the kitchen, Tina said as she approached us and took Rose out of my arms. Let me clean her up first and we will join you too. Make sure to clean yourself too, I joked at her, dusting the flour on her hair. Yay, very funny, she replied sarcastically, swatting away my hands. Her bag pack is in the spare room, Tina, Aunt Wilma called out after her as she walked out of the kitchen. You know, little Rose is just like you when you were at her age. Full of energy and crawling everywhere. One time someone forgot to lock the door to the dungeon and crawled into there. You were chit-chatting with a rogue when we found you. You gave your mother a semi-heart attack that day, she said, placing a plate of her famous chocolate chip cookie and a glass of milk in front of me. You used to love my chocolate chip cookies and milk when you were a kid. Your mom used to beg to me for my secret recipe 'cause you eat only the one made by me. I still love them, Aunt Wilma, I said by taking a cookie, dipping it in the milk and taking a bite. So do Rosalind. You know that was the only thing she used to stomach willingly before Celestina came. I know that's why I taught your wife my secret recipe, she said, sharing a smile with Tina, who walked into the kitchen with a now clean Rose in her arms. You did? Wow. Then, I don't have to walk this whole way just to eat your cookies, I joked, earning a playful smack on the head from Aunt Wilma. That is no reason for you to stop visiting your Aunt Boy, she said. So Tina, how's the birthday celebration planning coming along? Aunt Wilma asked, giving her attention to Tina. Little Rose is turning 2 in 2 months. Time flies by so fast. She is not the crying helpless baby that is left with me anymore. She started walking even though she prefers crawling. She took her first step a month ago. She now babbles non-stop and giggles all the time. No more of that grumpy baby can be seen in her. I know her development is in a little slow pace, even considering the human babies. Tina was worried about the same, and she persuades me to take Rose to a doctor. Rose got a clean health certificate, but that visit also made me realize how much of a bad father I was. The doctor said the delay in her developments is due to her lack of human interactions. We guys always thought bringing up a baby is all about feeding the baby, changing diapers, and getting the baby to sleep, and literally, that is what Rose did most of the time when she was with us. We fed her, changed her, and made her take naps. All the time. Even when she is awake, we left her in the playpen or never spend any time playing with her. Now, thanks to Tina's care and patience, Rose is growing up so fast. Tina is compensating for all the care my daughter missed till the day she came into her life. I will say she is spoiling Rose a bit, but I don't dare say it out aloud. A tap on my shoulder brought me out of my thoughts. Shall we? Tina asked me with Rose in her arms, yawning and snuggling close to her. Sorry, I missed what you asked, I told her, scratching the back of my neck. I asked, shall we get going now? Rose is getting sleepy, and I need to put her to bed before she starts getting more grumpy, she said, lightly patting Rose on the back. We said our goodbyes to Aunt Wilma and started walking back to the pack house. As we near the house, I know procrastination is not going to help anymore. I need to tell her, but I need to do it without freaking her out. I can't do it at the pack house. I don't even trust the walls now. My father once told me that sometimes you can't even trust your shadow. I am in one such situation. There is more and more man missing getting reported every day now. It's not only in our pack, but also in our allies' packs as well. There were more letters written in the blood of the missing people making the same demand. They want my daughter, only one thing that I value more than my life. What is bothering you so much, Dimitri? You are zoning out too much these days. Don't think I did not notice the increase in the number of guards and the increase in the training. Is everything all right? You know you can share anything with me, right? I am always will to help, Tina said, hugging Rose closer to her. She looked so vulnerable standing there hugging our special bundle of joy. I know she will notice the changes, especially regarding the guards and warriors. She is not a dumb girl, she is a warrior herself. She looks so vulnerable, clutching Rose close to her, the mother wolf in her feeling naturally protective over her pup. I have to tell her I will do it tonight. I need a little more time. It's nothing, just pack stuff, and the man missing cases are kind of getting on my nerves now. Can I have some father-daughter time with Rose? It will help me relax, and also you can help the ladies with the dinner, I asked her, already taking Rose in my arms. She nodded slowly, looking suspiciously at me. She did not believe my excuse, but let me take Rose from her arms. She placed a soft kiss on our daughter's cheek and started to walk away without saying anything, evidently upset with me. I took hold of her elbow before she could walk away and pulled her into a one-armed hug. Her arms immediately went around me and Rose lovingly but protectively. I love you, I whispered to her, kissing her head. She did not say anything in return, but tightened her hug. That simple action was 1,000 times louder than those 3 words, and I am ready to wait a lifetime to hear those words from her. Rose squealed and giggled, delighted at the family hug. Tina ran her thumb on the little one's cheek, then raised her head to peck my cheeks. I will see you two later, then have a nice time together. I am going for a run. The ladies can manage the dinner tonight. Saying this, she turned around and walked towards the woods. So no special cake tonight, I called out to her. She just half turned her head, winked and smiled. Hey Rosie, let's go see the talk man. He might give you a candy, I asked Rose as Tina disappeared from the view, trying to imitate an excited voice like I have seen Tina do when she wants to take Rose to the pack doctor or to make her do something she doesn't really like to do. Rose calls our pack doctor Stephen Talk Man divided by Torch Man cause he always lights a torch down her throat or ear every time Tina take her there. Candy, yes, candy. He will give you 1 candy, Roch. 2 candy. 1 candy, Rose, I said. 1 candy too. Your mom will give me an earful if I feed you more than 1 candy a day. Mama, mama, mama. She started to recite excitedly. She is always like this. When she is with me, whenever I mention Celestine's name or say your mom, she will start her mama chant. I wonder whether she has a dada chant when she is with Tina. Laughing at her excited babbling, I walked towards the direction of the Pack Medical Clinic. Good evening, Alpha Doctor. Stephen greeted me as I walked into his office. Good evening, little Alpha, he greeted Rose, who giggled, hiding her face on the crook of my neck, suddenly feeling shy. Philip, Jace and Ethan are already there waiting for me to bring Rose. Is everything ready? I asked Doc as I handed Rose to Jace. You are sure it won't hurt, right? And that it won't leave any mark or scar? Yes, Alpha, I assure you that it won't hurt a bit. I will give her a candy first to distract her and then give her a shot to numb the area we need to cut. Then once the medicine kicks in, we will make a small cut on her thighs, insert the chip and stick the wound together. With here werewolf blood and alpha blood, she will be healed without a trace by the time you take her back to the Luna. 2 candy, Rose chipped in her opinion as well. As much as you want, little Alpha, Doc said as he readied the shot for Rose. Twee, Rose asked with an overly sweet smile, holding up 4 fingers, earning a laugh from the other guys. Whatever you say, little one. Doc replied, her shaking his head while laughing. No. You will give her just 1 candy. I told the doctor and then turned to Rose. Your mom said 1 candy a day. Rose, I told her with a stern look, earning a pout from her. My lord, from where did she learn all this? When did she learn to count? And she can count to 3. It's all a surprise to me. I think I'm missing out a lot of things about her these days. After all this rogue thing is sorted out, I will have a vacation from all these alpha duties. Just me, my wife and our daughter. I will leave Philip in charge of the pack. Can you sit still for me for a minute, little Rose? Doctor Stephen asked as he came close to Rose to take the shot, and instantly she started to get panic seeing the needle in his hand. I sighed, walked up to them and took Rose back in my arms from Jace. I will hold her for you. It will keep both of us calm. I told them, slightly forcing Rose to rest her head on my shoulder and her back towards the doctor for him to take the shot. Doctor just nodded and proceeded to take the shot. Rose whimpered when he inserted the needle. By the time he took it out, tears started to fall and started asking for her mama. I hugged her tight and soothing soft words to her daddy. Here, little one, you are gonna be okay. The pain will go away now. The procedure took about half an hour. It's a minor procedure. We had to implant a chip under Rose's skin. Doc made a little incision on her back thighs, inserted the chip and closed the wound with her alpha werewolf blood. She will be healed in less than half an hour. Rose managed to doze off in between the procedure, so everything went fine without much mess and fuss. It was actually Ethan's idea to place a tracker chip on Rose, but couldn't involve many people in this because that word getting out may even more danger to my little one, so we decided we wouldn't share it with even our mates. There is a mole in the pack and we don't know who, so till we know this will stay with just 5 of us. By the time we get back home it was dinner time. Tina hurried Rose to a shower, then fed her, cleaned her again, put on fresh pajamas and put her to bed. Whole time Tina is bathing her and dressing her, I was kind of holding my breath. Once Rose is sound asleep, We had our dinner as usual. We talked about various topics, from Rose learning how to count her sugar-coated smile to make people comply to her, about some lady in the pack looking for a job, a new kid in the daycare, new train techniques, etc. etc. We talked about almost everything under the sun, but couldn't take the courage to tell her about the rogue problem. Now we are in bed. She is lying curled up to one side, fast asleep. I spooned her close to me and pressed my face to her long curly hair and breathed in her sweet scent. Tomorrow, I will tell her tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a good day, right, Dada? Look, look, I smiled at Rose, who is showing me her masterpiece work with crayons. Tina was busy with training and Aunt Wilma and Bella is having kitchen duty. Rose's babysitter bailed on us, and that's how she ended up with me here at my office. Working while having Rose in the vicinity always proved to be disastrous. Every time I will end up calling Tina to take her back. This time she already warned me not to call for her, as she already missed a week of training due to her monthly monster, as she named it, and she doesn't want to be dragged out of this one. So I tactfully sneaked a pack of crayon from the daycare so that Rose can paint while she is waiting for me to finish my work, and it is working very well, too. Oh, it's beautiful, baby. Did you draw it? I asked her, looking at what looked like a mess of all the colors in the paper. She even managed to put in some white in there. Maybe she is into modern art. Yes, she said, nodding her head vigorously. For Dada, she said, holding it out for me to take. You did it for me? I asked her as I took the painting from her little arms, and I was surprised by the wetness that suddenly appeared in my eyes. Thank you, sweetheart. Come, let us put it on Daddy's desk. I told her, pulling her to my lap, and I managed to find a cello tape and we taped it to the top of my desk. She was beaming at me happily all the time and clapped her hands when we are done with it. Then she slipped out of my lap and went back to her coloring book, to creating yet another masterpiece. Once, after making sure she is using the colors only on her book, I went back to my work and things stayed peaceful for about an hour till we are interrupted by a loud knock on the door and my beta Philip walked in. Unky Pill Rose squeal when she saw he godfather running to him, hugging his legs, who laughed as he picked her up, tickle her, making her giggle and put her back on her feet. Alpha, your mental wall was up. We couldn't reach you. Your phone was off as well. We are trying to reach you for an hour now, he said, going all businesslike once Rose got distracted by her painting. I glanced at my phone and found it switch off. Might be Rose's doing when I had her on my lap. I switch it on and put it on the table, signaling Philip to take the seat in front of me. What happened? Something serious? I asked him, watching Rose, who is now snooping around my office, losing interest in her color book with the corner of my eyes. We might need your presence at the western border, Alpha. There is something you need to see yourself, he said, trying to look stern without wavering his voice. Another murder? I asked him, trying not to lose my temper. He just nodded, looking down. I could see he is trying not to burst. We are all tired and frustrated by this. Our pack members are getting killed and we can't even stop it. That's it. The pack is on lockdown from this day. No one is supposed to wander around after 6 inches the evening. Ladies and kids should not go out without males escorting them. Strengthen the patrol, recruit more if you want to keep the fighters ready to strike anytime. And we will be having a pack meeting this evening. Now, let's go the western borders. I want to see what those bastards did this time, I said as I picked up Rose so that I can leave her with Aunt Wilma and Bella. Bassard, Rose exclaimed and clapped her hands and giggled. Out of all the words I said, this the only one you picked up? I asked her, wondering why kids have a keen ear when it comes to things they are not supposed to hear, like every time she hits me and kicks me for, let me quote her, stop eating mama for kissing my wife. I could hear Phil trying hard to control its laughter, trying to make it sound like a cough. I gave him a tough look and turned to my daughter to do some disaster management. No, Rose, you did not hear that, I told her. Bassard. Bassard, she repeated louder, making some of the pack members in the corridor to look at us. It's Blizzard, Rose. Blizzard, Phil told her, trying to control his laughter. Blizzard, yay, Blizzard, I repeated after her, and she just continued to giggle. I looked at Phil thankfully. Thanks, buddy, that was a close call. Anything for you, friend, he said, and walked ahead of me to the kitchen, eager to meet his mate. Stepping into the kitchen, I am enveloped by the warm aroma of home-cooked meal familiar to me from my childhood. I smiled at Aunt Wilma, who is standing near the stove stirring the content in a pot. Aunt Wilma. Crescent Bella. I addressed the high-ranked ladies in the group of females in the kitchen. Alpha. The ladies replied, bowing their head to me. I gave them a brief nod and the rest of the ladies went back to their works. Can you ladies do me a favor and take care of Rose for a while? Something came up and I have to go out. I can't drag Tina out from her training session. I asked them politely, looking apologetically when they frantically started to look at all the kitchen utensils and ingredients. Having Rose in the kitchen ended up in disaster most of the times. Don't worry, she won't create a mess. She is into painting today, just give her a paper and a few crayons and she will be off to create her masterpiece works. I tried to assure them while trying to stop her from eating the crayon in her hand, not feeling much assured myself. It's okay, Alpha, we will keep an eye on her. Bella said as she came forward and took Rose from my arms, who went happily to her. You better be good for Aunt Bella and Grandma Wilma, okay sweetie? I said to Rose and kissed her forehead and walked out of the house through the back door with Philip following me, but I did not feel okay to leave Rose there. Something is not feeling right. There is a dreadful feeling building up deep inside me for which I don't even know the reason for. As I reached the tree lines to the wood, I shifted to my midnight black wolf and relished the full control over to Tristan, who sped fast into the forest, enjoying feel of the earth below his paws. I can hear Philip just behind us. Together we ran to the western borders, and I know whatever surprise is waiting for me there is not a pleasant one. Tristan tore through the woods, not caring about the wildlife scurrying away from his path. The destination is set on his mind. The soil reeked of the smell of blood as he got close to the western borders with Philip's wolf Felix closely behind. But it is not the smell of the blood that is agitating the animal. There is some other scent mixed with the odor of the blood, a scent too familiar, and I know it is that scent that is driving the animal crazy. Tristan kept muttering things to himself that I can't make out. I tried to listen closely to what he is trying to say and I could make out only a few words. Rosie. Pup, danger. He kept muttering these things continuously. Then it hit me why the scent is so familiar. That is the sweet scent of flower, Rose, the scent of my daughter. But how can that be? She was with me till now. I left only a few minutes before. Confused and furious, I pushed Tristan to move faster and take us to the damn site. As we neared the borders, I saw the warriors from my pack gathering around a figure on the forest floor and the air sting of blood. The head of the patrol team met us halfway. As he saw us approaching, we shifted back to our human form as soon as we reached him, and he handed us some shots to wear. Alpha. Beta. He greeted us as soon as we are on our two legs. Explain the situation. Philip ordered, as I was having a hard time trying to control Tristan from tearing apart his own pack members. He is very agitated, and along with the smell of blood, Rose's scent is also very strong here. Both of us doesn't like the way the smell of blood entangled with our daughter's scent. It smelt so wrong, it is driving us crazy. It's a young girl this time, sir, a teenager tortured and murdered the same way as the previous ones, he said, slightly nodding towards the body of the young girl. Have you identified the girl? Philip continued. Yes, Beta. Her name is Irene Evans, 13 years old, the middle child of Mr. and Mrs. Evans. Her family is notified of the incident. In her case, nobody knew she was missing. She went to a human friend's place for 2 days after a fight with her mother, so they thought nothing of it when did not get any call from her. They just assumed she is just angry and need time to cool it off. Now her body appeared on the cold forest floor, he said with a sad sigh. The names sound familiar. Isn't she the one who babysits Rose? Philip asked me, and I felt dread creeping through my veins. Yes, and she bailed on us today without prior information. She did not show up, I said as we walked fast towards the girl. And what is it that needs the special attention that you requested for my presence? I asked, feeling impatient. I need to get back to my daughter and make sure she is well. You must have a look at it. Alpha, we don't know what to make out of it or how to explain it. This is how we find her body, he said as we moved towards the young girl's corpse. The rest of the team greeted us by bowing their head as a sign of respect and move aside to make way for us. I don't know what is more dreadful, the sight of the young girl being tortured and ripped apart with her legs and hands twisted to awkward position and her guts cut open, or the sight of my little daughter's favorite stuffed teddy. On top of the girl's corpse, I almost lost control of Tristan as he began to lash out, wanting to rip apart everything that poses a threat to his pup, but as an alpha there are more pressing matters I need to attend. The father and wolf in me was terrified. Something might have happened to our young daughter. But the alpha and the leader in me knows I need to be here for my pack and the young girl's family. The logical side of me knows my daughter is safe at home with my aunt, but the emotional side in me is worried for her safety. Alpha Philip called me, slightly touching my shoulder, bringing me out of my thoughts. I have checked with Ethan. The tracker shows Rose is still inside pack house with Aunt Wilma. He said through the mind link, reassuring me. I shook emotions out of me and went to the alpha mode. Have you guys searched the perimeters? I asked the team. Yes, Alpha, but they are too careful to leave any hints. We couldn't even find when they left the body here. There was no scent here. We have called the pack doctor in case he wants to get any details for more forensic analysis. We have marked the body position and quarantined the area. Just as on cue, the light brown wolf of Dr. Stephen appeared at the far end. He bowed his head to the alpha and beta and went ahead to examine the corpse. We stood there, watching as he fussed around the corpse. He put on a glove and gently took the teddy from top of the girl and put it into a forensic bag. Sorry Alpha, we might be needing this for further analysis. There is a chance they might have left some imprint on the toy by mistake, he said, looking at me apologetically. You can keep it and throw it away once you are done. I am not planning to take that nightmare back to my daughter, I said. Even the thought of that teddy near my daughter is revolting now. Alpha Guard's mind linked me that girl's parents want to see her. They are waiting for your permission to come here. The patrol team lead came to me. We all felt sad for the family. The worst thing that can happen to you as a parent is having to bury your child before you, and if the last thing you did with them is all shouting and yelling, then the guilt will eat you alive. I sighed and rubbed my eyes. These things are getting too much. The girl is too young to die. Don't let them see her like this. Move her to the morgue, fix her up, and let them see her only after autopsy. Dr. Stephen. Meet me at the office with the results once you are done with the autopsy. I barked the orders at them before I shifted to Tristan and took off at the direction of the pack house to my own daughter. My wolf can't rest until we see that she is safe. Running back to the pack house, I hardly halted to shift back and put on a shot before running inside through the back door towards the kitchen to find it empty. Aunt Wilma, Auntie E, Bella, Rose. I hollered for them as I stepped into the dining room from the kitchen. Bella AA. Alpha, you called? Bella asked as she walked into the dining room from the TV room. Where are my aunt and my daughter? I barked at her, trying hard to control Tristan from lashing out at her. I saw her cowering away in fear and heard Philip growling at me from behind for threatening his mate. I growled back at him for the disrespect towards his alpha before it could get any worse. Bella jumped in with answers for my queries. Aunt Wilma went back home half an hour before. Once Tina got back from training, she was saying something about consoling some family. Rose is with Tina now. They are upstairs. Will be there in either your room or Rose's room. I slightly nodded at her before running upstairs, taking 2 steps at a time, anxious to reach our pup. What is this, Rose? I told you not to use your crayon on the walls. Right before I reach Rose's room, I heard Tina's angry voice and light whimper of Rose. I quickened my pace to reach the room to see Tina standing with both her arms on hips, one of the hands holding a wet towel, and Rose sitting on the floor near the wall with a crayon in her hands and tears in her eyes and crayon marks on the floor wall. You will not do it again, will you, Rosie? Tina asked her in a soft tone, seeing tears in the little one's eyes, but the angry father and wolf in me are not registering any softness. Only thing we could see is another wolf threatening our child. We loomed over them like a predator to its prey, completely unknown to the inhabitants of the room. No, mama. Sorry, Rose said while pouting. A loud growl erupted from my lips as Tina moved forward to take Rose in her arms, and I stalked into the room towards the 2 figures. Look at me in confusion. Dimitri, are you all right? Tina asked me, hiding Rose behind her, and Rose is looking at me from behind Tina's legs. Tina tried to touch my face, but I caught her wrist and squeezed it hard, so she had to snatch it back. "What is wrong with you, Dimitri? You almost broke my wrist," she said, feeling shocked and annoyed. "Give me my daughter," I ordered as Tina took Rose in her arms. "No. You are highly unstable now. I can't let you hold her now, and she is already frightened by your anger," she said, hugging Rose tighter, angering my wolf more. "Give me my daughter right now." "You don't have any right to keep her away from me," I roared at her, making both of them cringe in fear. "Yes, I have. I am her mother," Tina said, starting to get angry. "You are not her mother. She doesn't have a mother. Her mother left her when she was a baby, and you can't replace her, so stop acting as you do." With that, I snatched Rose out of her grips, who immediately started crying for her mama. The horrified look in Tina's eyes told me I should stop there, but I doesn't have any control over the words that are pouring out of my mouth. Right now it's my temper that is speaking. "You don't know how to be a mother. You don't know how it feels like to have a child with your mate. Hell, you don't know how it feels like to be with your destined one. What they say is correct. You are a cursed one. When you were there, your home pack loses their beta, and because of you my daughter's life is getting threatened here. Wherever you are going, the destruction is following." I watched with a cruel satisfaction as Tina's eyes filled with tears and she started shaking her head and chanting no to herself. Without waiting another moment, she bolted out of the room. The angry devil in me stopped me from following her. I heard Bella and Philip calling for her, but it sounds like she did not stop to explain. I looked over to the balcony window to see the creamy white wolf of Tina, speeding towards the northern borders, the direction of her home pack. The wolf in me felt sad, feeling the pain of his chosen mate, but the anger of the arrogant alpha in me blinded me too much that I ignored his pleas to go after River Tina's wolf. The man in me felt sad for his wife, but the panicked father wants to stay with his daughter. Torn between my duties and feelings, I slid down the wall near the window with a crying Rose in my arms, trying my best to soothe her while crying along with her for the damages I have caused in our lives in a matter of few minutes. It took me more than an hour to calm down the hysteric Rose. Now I am sitting on the rocking chair in Rose's nursery with a sleepy child in my arms. I could hear her whimper from time to time, make me hate myself more and more on how much pain I have caused to my little angel and my wife due to my angry outburst. I have no idea how I'm going to fix the damage I caused to my married life. I have crossed the boundaries and spoken words that should have been never uttered. I can't even find any hope in me that she will forgive me and give me another chance after all those hard work from both our parts to build a relationship. It took only a few words from me to ruin everything. I don't even know how I will face her again. "Dimitri," I heard Philip whispering my name and turned towards the direction of the sound to see him and Bella standing at the door with sad faces. "Doctor Stephen and the patrol team leader are at the office waiting for you." Bella walked into the room and tried to take Rose from my arms, but I tightened my hold, her small body refusing to give her to anyone. Bella stopped and looked back at Philip helplessly, who sighed and walked in, placing a hand on my shoulders, lowered himself to ear level. "There is a lot of works to do, Alpha. We have news. Rose will be safe with Bella." I sighed and stood up, placing a soft kiss on my daughter's head. I gave her to Bella and watched her snuggle close to the Crescent's beta female neck. "We haven't heard from Tina yet," I heard Bella whisper before I walking out of the room. "She know I heard that too. She ran towards the northern borders. I think she is heading to the home pack. Let us give her time reach home before we contact them and panic them as well," I said before walking away, half hoping that she will come back to the house after a run without going to Lunar Spirit. I stood in front of my office and took a deep breath before opening the door and walk in, ready to face any news waiting for me at the other side. Dr. Stephen and Donovan, the patrol team lead, stood up to greet us as we walked into the room. "Beta said you people have news for me," I said, going directly to the business without wasting a second. Donovan nodded towards the doctor, signaling him to start, so I turned my attention towards him, who handed over a file to me. "The autopsy on Irene's body is done, and my findings are in this file. For now I will brief you on main findings." I took it from him and nodded him to go on, placing the file on my desk. Well, to relieve our mind there was no sexual harassment on the girl. I could feel myself relaxing a bit on hearing that most of the females that turned out dead around different packs were sexually harassed before they were murdered. At least this young one was spared from that horror. The death took place one day before and the body was kept frozen before they dumped it here. And the body was gutted just before they dump it here. The cause of death is a single stab with a silver knife to her heart, but her limbs were broken before she died, it seems, 'cause they were half healed in that wrong positions. If she was dead before a day, then what about all that blood on her and the forest floor? I asked him, rather confused. The blood on her and floor was not her blood. I had a vial of her blood with me which was taken for usual yearly checkup before she goes to her friend's place. When I noticed the oddity in the time of her death, I did a quick basic DNA analysis and it turned out that the blood is not hers, it is the same type but someone else's. The DNA does not match. Further analysis of the blood on her body showed that was not fresh blood but frozen ones. He stopped and nodded at Donovan. Then Donovan filled us in our further details and progresses in the investigation. So, when Doc informed us of this, we did a little more searching in the area and a little ahead of our border, and as an act of God one of our trackers stumbled upon an almost empty bag of blood discarded near some bushes. We took it back to the bagging the doctor and confirmed that we have a match. The bag had the name of the blood bank from where it is taken, so we have 2 members of the team on the way to the blood bank for further inquiry. And on further investigation on the no man's land we found a little abandoned cabin. We caught scents of rogues there, along with the scent of blood and the girl, but there was no scent of little Rose there, and seems like they have used some chemical to hide their scent before they enter our territory. We still have few members there, snooping around to see if we can get any more evidence, even though the chances are really low. Well done. Good job both of you, and your team, Donovan. This is a big achievement considering the previous cases. I think they are growing confident that they can get away with doing anything. I appreciated them feeling proud of my pack members. Getting back to the evidence in our hands, since we couldn't get Rose's scent on the cabin, the teddy was not taken to the cabin. They might have waited at the cabin along with the body for someone to bring the teddy to them. That confirms that we have a mole in our pack, I said, trying to work out all the points they have thrown at me. Well, Rose had the teddy with her in the evening when Celestina put her to bed, and when we checked in on her around 11 before we turn in for the night, I remember Celestina trying to take it out of her clutches but failing, but we couldn't find it in the morning. Me and Celestina were on our hands and knees whole morning, searching for it since she was so persistent in having her teddy with her in the morning. So the mole might have taken it from Rose when we were all sleeping, Philip exclaimed, and the thought of that vile thing near my daughter had my blood boil. With great effort, I reined in Tristan from creating another havoc. Philip, get a detailed list of who all spent the night at the pack house last night and footages from all the cameras we installed recently. Rose's baby monitor was found broken this morning. Get our tech expert and see if he can recover anything from there. It is in her room. And gentlemen, be careful of the team you select to work with. Select only the trusted ones and news must not spread. I instructed them. Yes, Alpha. They replied in unison and stood up to leave. Philip stopped before stepping out as if he remembered something. Irene's parents came here to discuss with you about the funeral. They want to have it today itself, but you were not approachable the moment, so I gave them permission to make the arrangements. The ceremony will be starting in 15 minutes, and they will be expecting the Alpha there. Jace is already there, and I will go with you. Ethan will be staying behind along with a few guards for Bella, Olivia, Rose, and Emily. Okay. Then we'll meet you at the door. I will go and check Rose one last time before joining you. I will give the instructions to the tech team and join you, Philip said before walking away. I followed Rose's scent and found both her and Bella in mine and Tina's bedroom. Rose is soundly sleeping on the bed hugging her mama's pillow, and Bella is sitting on a chair which she moved to the bedside from the vanity table and watching the sleeping baby with a sad face. Bella stood up from her chair as soon as she felt my presence the room and bowed to Mr. Sorry. Alpha Rose was so restless and couldn't sleep. I had no choice but take her here. Tina's scent helped to calm her down and now she is soundly sleeping. I nodded. Anything is okay as long as she is comfortable, I said, walking into my closet to get a proper dress for the funeral. I picked up a black button-down full-sleeve shirt and black pants. Putting them on, I walked out of the closet, rolling the sleeves of the shirt to a little below my elbow, walking close to my daughter and placed a soft kiss on her forehead. I am sorry for talking to her like that, I said before turning and walking towards the door. It's not me you should be apologizing to, she said softly. I know. I sighed heavily and continued. Ethan will be in charge of the pack house while me, Philip, Jace and others attend the funeral of Irene Evans, so if there is something, contact him. Saying that, I walked out of the room. Closing the bedroom door behind me, I walked towards the front door. There, my beta and gamma are waiting for me. I hope Philip already filled you in on today's information and you are clear on your instructions, I asked Ethan without bothering about any courtesy. Yes, Alpha. I already have a team patrolling outside and planted at spots inside pack house, and I will be roaming around the place all the time, Ethan replied, and I give him a small nod before jumping into the SUV Philip already had in ignition, and we sped towards the cemetery. The ceremony was small, only the parents' siblings and few of the girls' friends talked, and as their alpha I have to give in a few words too. Since we are living in close connection with humans, we have to do a human funeral type funeral, and human friends of the family and the deceased will also participate. For humans, we are a tightly coupled, closed community of people living in close to nature. They see us as some sort of nature lovers who like living close to the forested area. After consoling the grieving family and making sure that all security measures are proper, we decided to head back to the pack house. Dimitri, Philip. Ethan's voice ringed in my head as he mind-linked with both me and Philip. Yes, Ethan. We replied in unison, noting the urgency in his voice. We got a call from Lunar Spirit Pack few minutes before asking whether Luna reached home safely. They said she requested permission to cross the borders around noon, stating the purpose as visiting the cemetery, and they said she crossed back by around 4 o'clock in the evening, but she hadn't reached the pack house yet. Ethan's worried voice rang in our ears again. Have you searched the training grounds? I asked him as both me and Philip broke into a small jog towards the wooded area away from the prying eyes of the humans at the funeral. Yes, Alpha, we did. I send men to check the training grounds, the gym, and even the old Beta's place. I have deployed Team Sigma to the northern borders now, he said. Team Sigma is a 10-member team of the best pack warriors and trackers, combined, created to act upon the stage of emergencies. A missing Luna is one of the major emergency for a pack of wolves. Okay, both me and Philip are heading towards the northern borders now. Inform the team about our arrival and tell them to keep us informed. And you stay at the pack house itself, guard the females and kids, and inform Dr. Stephen to keep the infirmary ready if in case needed. I instructed him as we reached the forest line and shifted into our corresponding wolves, ripping our clothes to shreds in the process. That was Tina's favorite shirt. We ran miles and were closing to the northern borders when the smell of blood started to seep into our nostrils, pushing our wolves forwards. We ran towards the direction, the smell, praying that she is safe. I can't yet to catch her sweet vanilla scent in the air, so most probably it is another attack on the pack. The spot of the attack came into view in a few minutes, and there laid our northern patrol team, beaten and defeated. As soon as we reached there, we started checking for any sign of life and were relieved to know most of them are just unconscious from bleeding and exhaustion. Ethan, we need a team of paramedics to be sent to the northern borders. There was an ambush on our patrol team. The pack will be on official lockdown from this moment. Let the members know that they have to be home by 6 and no one is allowed to wander alone or in pairs to the forest. The kids are not to be left unattended. Increase the number of patrols and increase the number of members in each team. Gather more men for the patrol. I barked through the mind link to my gamma, who responded immediately while accessing the damage at the site. There are dead bodies of the rogues here and there is a trail leading to northwest boulders. Dimitri, look, Philip said as he ran to the body of a rogue. Clearly visible in his jaws is a bunch of white furs. None of the members of my pack have white fur except my Luna. Alpha, to the northwest boulders. The voice of Sigma team leader rang in my head. Without listening to the rest of the message, I pushed Tristan in northwest direction, praying for only one person, a person who truly made a difference in my life. The memories flashed through my mind at the moment, the way she smiled, held little Rose and cuddled closer to me. Night, I can't lose her. Unlike last time, I won't be able to pull through, nor will my daughter or my pack. I felt my heart breaking and breath stopped as I saw the petite figure lying on the forest floor among the corpse of rogue wolves drenched in blood. My mind and my body went numb as I covered the rest of the distance. I did not see anything or hear anything that my team members and Philip are telling me as I shift back to human form and ran to my wife. The last words I told her kept playing in my ears. You are a cursed one. When you were there, your home pack lost their beta, and because of you my daughter's life is getting threatened here. Wherever you are going, the destruction is following. I don't want this to be our last conversation. I want to tell her how much I love her. I want to apologize to her for being a fool. I want to tell she is the most wonderful mom, the best mother a child can get. Each word I yelled at her started eating me alive. I was not the alpha or the leader when I took my wife's limp body in my arms. I was just a man and a broken husband as I broke down in front of my pack, burying my face into the crook of her neck, inhaling her sweet vanilla scent. I don't know how long I stayed like that. I growled at anyone who dared to come near us, hugging her close to me. Tristan is going blind with rage. He is angry with me for letting his chosen mate wander out without guards. He is angry at the rogues for attacking her, and I know if I don't hold her like this, then I might be lashing out and attacking my own pack. I saw Philip and Jace approaching me in my peripheral vision. I growled at them to stop, but that didn't stop them. I was surprised at the amount of trust they had in me when I felt the arms on my shoulder, cause everyone in the wolf world knows that an alpha mourning for his mate is most dangerous wolves of all, Dimitri. I heard Jace's voice in my head. He is trying hard to keep his voice straight, but I can hear the hidden tears in his voice. Let Steven have a look at her. We might get more evidence which can be used to save another innocent soul. I am sure Tina will want to do that. I felt their arms tightening on my shoulder when Dr. Steven slowly comes forward and lightly touched Tina's shoulder beyond my effort. Rein him in, Tristan growled at Steven, eyes flashing and baring his teeth. Tristan, spare your human. He is in pain as much as you are, but the pack needs the alpha and your little pup needs the father. She can't lose both her mother and father at the same time. Don't let the anger rule you. I heard Jace's wolf Oscar's voice in my head. As humans, I and Philip are the closest in our group, but as the wolves, Tristan and Oscar share a strong bond. I slowly put her down and stood up. My dad always told me that an alpha must be able to put his pack first, even before his family. At the time he said that I did not understand what those words actually meant, but now I know. Even through the family pain of losing my chosen mate, I have to stand straight and manage the situation. It's not just me, each of them are suffering from the loss of their Luna. After all, a Luna is the mother of the whole pack. I watched as Dr. Steven and his team fussing over Tina. That is when I noticed that she doesn't have any stab wounds or tortured wounds on her body. The wounds she wore are battle wounds. With this new realization, I looked away from her, taking eye. The surrounding dead bodies of around 10 wolves lay there, some with a broken, twisted neck, some with huge bite marks on the stomach, along with a lot of other wounds. Now as I look at my wife with pride and newfound respect, a thought occurred to me. She does not has a stab wound either. Could I smell any silver on her? Can that mean, Doctor? I am getting a faint heartbeat. One of Steven's assistants called out as if completing my thoughts. I was by my wife's side in a jiffy as Steven started checking her nerves and heartbeats. I saw his face changing from grim to grinning. Alpha, her heart is still beating faint, but it is still there. She doesn't have any mortal wounds, so this might be her wolf acting off. We still have a chance to save her. Tell your team to get the facility ready by the time I get there with her, I ordered before scooping her up in bridal style and ran towards the pack hospital. I let Tristan descend. Only a few powerful wolves can use their wolf powers while in their human form. Luckily I am one of them and used his wolf speed to reach there fast. One of Stephen's assistants met me at the entrance of the hospital to guide to the care unit they have facilitated for Tina. As soon as I placed her on the hospital cot, they started put wires and needles on my wife, and another one started cleaning her wolf. They all started working as professionals as I stood helplessly and not knowing what to do, my heart clenched looking at her limp form. Alpha. I looked up to see Stephen walking into the room in scrubs. Can you please step out of the room? Then my team can work more comfortably on Luna. I can't find my voice to reply to him. I just stood there gazing between Stephen and Tina as if getting my silent message. He walked over to me and placed a firm hand on my shoulder. Don't worry, Dimitri. We will do our maximum to save. We won't lose our lovely Luna. I just nodded to him and walked out. Once outside, I sank to one of the waiting chairs, leaning forward. I supported my elbows on my knees, burying my face in my arms and rubbing them. Dada, I looked up, hearing the voice of my little angel. I saw her in the arms of a crying Bella, who was getting comforted by her mate. Olivia is there with Emily, looking equally broken and supported by Ethan. That scene made me miss my wife even more. Sensing the tension and worries in the grown-ups, Rose started whimpering. I stood up from my seat to walk over to them and took Rose in my arms, hugging her tight. I buried my face in her hair, inhaling her sweet scent of rose flower. She let me stay like that for a few minutes before starting to get fussy. She pulled away from my shoulder to look at my face, and with all the seriousness a toddler can acquire, scrunching up her little nose and eyebrows, she asked me about the person I hoped she wouldn't ask me about at this point. Mama is okay, sweetheart. She is tried after a long journey, let her sleep for a while. I told her, battling my own tears from showing up, and looked towards the door beyond which Tina laid. When I looked back, I saw Rose's little face moving from me to the door. Without making much fuss, she snuggled close to me. Hours have passed since we are sitting here waiting for any news on my wife's condition. Emily is soundly sleeping in Ethan's arms, who currently talking to Philip and Jace. Bella and Olivia is sitting together supporting each other. Rose is babbling to herself while playing with her doll, which one of the pack members brought upon our request when Rose started to get fussy with the long wait. All of us were lost in our own world when the door to the care unit opened and Dr. Stephen walked out. All the grown-ups were by his side without losing a moment, bombarding him with questions. He just stayed silent till we all calmed down and waited for his reply. Then he turned to me and started talking nervously. All her outer wounds are cleaned up and patched. She had internal bleeding, which is also contained. None of the injuries seems fatal so far, but her wolf seems withdrawn. It is not helping her to heal the injuries that might cause more problems. If her wolf doesn't help, then I can't exactly say that she will recover. She might end up paralyzed or in a coma, or there is a chance that we might lose her. Before he could finish, I had him by his throat and flattened against the nearby wall. He tried clawing at my hands, trying to get free from my death grip, while Philip and Jace pulled me back. Bring her back, I want her, Alavi. Tristan growled at Stephen, who is now on the floor, trying to catch his breath. We are trying our best, Alpha. I know you are worried for your family, so are we. We are worried for our Luna, he said, breathing shakily. With a lot of effort, I regained control over Tristan and was about to apologize for my harsh behavior towards my friend when a loud, hearty baby squeal sounded. Mama, followed frantic beeping of heart monitor as if it is going overdrive. Shit. Rose got into the care unit, Jace said as we all ran to the care unit where Tina is now. A soft hand on my shoulder startled me awake. My neck and my whole body ache from sitting on tiny hard hospital chair whole night. My tired sleepy eyes frantically searched for my wife after finding her sleeping figure on the bed. A feeling of disappointment washed through me. You should go to your room and sleep, son. A good night's sleep on a bed will do good to you. I will stay with her meanwhile, my mother-in-law said from behind me. It's okay, Alexandra, I want to be with her. Unfortunately, this is only time I could be alone with her between Alpha duties and your family, I said, giving her an assuring smile. She sighed deeply before responding. Whatever my son said, please don't take it to heart. You are a good husband, otherwise she wouldn't have come back to you. Now I wish she hadn't come back, that way she wouldn't be in this condition. Then she would be healthy and be running around, I said, feeling defeated. Neither me or Rose will be able to stay away from her for a single day. We will be there the very next day begging for her forgiveness. She didn't reply to me this time but stayed silent and took a seat on the edge of her daughter's bed. She is a strong lady, just like her daughter. Even though her suffering, she is trying to comfort me. Will it be like this if my daughter's mother was alive? Think I will never find out. Hope my Rose will be luckier than me and get her mama back. My thoughts went to that fateful day again. Informing the Lunar Spirit Pack about the attack and Celestina's current condition was not an easy task but something that cannot be avoided. Walking out of the hospital room with a screaming Rose, I know there will be more screaming and dialing to deal with this day. Don't take her to the hospital wing until things get better. Lie to her when she asks for mama. Tell her she is busy. I ordered to Bella, while handing Rose over to her to calm down the child, and walked to my office to face the inevitable to inform Lunar Spirit Pack about the mishap. Walking into the office, it took my office phone to make my call, but after a second thought I put it down and took my personal mobile. In need to deal with this as the family, not as an alpha. Then I dialed Alpha Christabel's personal number. Upon descending, he attended the call. Christabel speaking. Christabel, this is Demetrius. Hey, I have contacted your Gamma yesterday evening, asking for Tina's whereabouts. She came to our territory yesterday but went back without visiting us. We were all got a bit worried. Yes, Ethan informed me. There is something unpleasant to need to inform you. There was an ambush on our Northern Border Patrol team yesterday and Celestina somehow stumbled upon it. She managed to finish off the rogues but somehow ended up in a coma. Now there is fatal wound marks on her and no internal bleeding. She is simply not waking up. What? When did this happen? Why didn't you inform us sooner? Abel shouted through the phone. Tristan growled at the threat. Sorry, we were all at the hospital waiting for an update on her. We were so devastated and remembered to inform you only when the doctor informed us that her wounds are not fatal, I replied, rather irritated. Sorry for yelling, Dimitri, but she is our little sister. We needed to know after everything she has been through. I thought all her sufferings for a lifetime is over. He sounded so broken at the moment. We will be on our way as soon as we can. Let me tell others. Sitting back in the chair, I know I purposefully avoided the reason for Hergen to the other pack, but how much time I can borrow with my luck. I made arrangements to accommodate the other pack and later on Abel called to inform that the whole family is visiting. That included the former Alpha and Luna, current Alpha and Luna, current Beta and Crescent, also the old Crescent. Altogether 7 people are visiting us. Old Beta will be running the pack meanwhile along with the Gamma. Things become really chaotic once they reached here. Mother Luna had a complete breakdown upon seeing her only daughter in this condition. Alice and Lisa were crying too much that Abel and Cal was trying hard not to be strong and comfort their mates without crying their heart out for their little sister. Alpha Lucas remained calm with a blank expression while holding and comforting his mate, but I know he is anything but calm inside. After the initial shock and breakdowns, everyone settled on different seats in the room where Tina was in. There are my Beta and Gamma family and Jace there with us. It was Callahan who asked the question I dreaded the most. What exactly happened? Why was she at the northern border? Why did she come to our territory that day? She never did before, not without you with her. Every time she came home she either get official permission via you or she came with you. Why was it different this time? Well, that was news to me. I thought every time she went off asking for an alone time she went to her mate's grave. I couldn't say I was not jealous, cause I was jealous about how much she loves him even after this many years. Philip nudged me with the elbow to bring me out of my thoughts. I saw everyone watching me with curious eyes. Well, we had a fight that day. Not exactly a fight because it was me who did all the yelling and she was mostly clueless. I stopped and watched as anger seeped into the face of both the brothers on hearing me, but I continued. You know the attacks going on are packs for Rose. It Camito a different level. Last victim was Rose's teenage babysitter and they placed one of Rose's favorite teddy on top of the corpse. My wolf was angry and out of control. When we got them, the first thing I heard is Tina scolding Rose for something and my wolf kind of lost it. It becomes protective over its pup and we said some very hurtful words to her, things regarding her losing her mate. Before I could say another word, Abel and Cal were on me, both of them rettle and bulky as I am, but the force with which they hit made me lose my footing. We were on the floor and rolling the next second. It took Philip, Ethan, Jace, Alpha, Lucas and some other hospital staff to separate us and pull Christabel and Callahan away from me. All of us were still struggling against the ones holding us back and growling when Dr. Stephen walked into the room with aired face and gave us the ultimatum: Alpha sorbetas, I don't care who you are if you are gonna upset the peacefulness of this hospital, I won't hesitate to kick you out and make sure you guys won't visit her again till she recover and ask for you. We growled at him for the disrespect, but the stern look in her face told me he meant all business. I growled once more at the siblings and walked out of that room and walked to the only room I could find peace, our bedroom, where her scent still remained. Me and Luna Alexandra stayed in the comfortable silence, lost in our thoughts as the sun came out. I know I have to go back to my duties and wait for the night to come to be with my wife again. I was about to get up and leave when there was a light knock on the door. One of the warriors from the pack stood there with his mate with a bouquet of flowers. He had one of his hands in a sling and wound marks scared his upper chest. I remembered him as one of the survivors from the attack at the northern border. I nodded at him, giving him permission to come inside. His mate went near the bedside table to remove the dry flowers and replace it with the new ones she brought. The pack members took it upon them to fill the vase for their Luna every day with her favorite flowers, red roses. Good morning, Alpha. He greeted me with a sad smile and I just nodded with my face blank. He gave a sad look towards the closed doors before continuing. I came to give my thanks to Luna for what she did for me that day. Me and my family will be thankful to her our whole life for her generosity. If it was not for her, we would have been dead like most of our teammates. In a situation where most of the females would run to hide, she jumped in to save me. She distracted the rogues, giving me time to contact the base before the Wolfbane cut of my mind link. Wolfbane. We were never told that there is Wolfbane involved, Abel exclaimed, as he walked into the room with Dr. Stephen and Callahan after the confrontation on the day of their arrival. This is the first time we all came together in Tina's room. That was because Luna was not injected with Wolfbane. As soon as we detected Wolfbane on the patrol team, we ran a test on her. There is not a trace in her blood, Dr. Stephen answered while checking on Tina. We think that the rogues were not expecting her to be there. They have used the whole poison on the patrol team by the time she came to the picture. The team was having difficulty to fight the poison and rogues at the same time, and Tina intervened, diverting the rogues, giving Sean enough time to contact the base before the Wolfbane completely cut off his contact with his wolf. I said, pointing to the warrior named Sean in front of me. She was able to take over all of them, but in the end we don't know what happened, but she collapsed. She was lying still on that dirty forest floor when we got there, and I thought, we lost her. She was not moving or breathing. We can't even get a strong heartbeat. I said with my head casting down so that no one will see the moisture seeping into my eyes. Dimitri, we want to apologize to you for our rude behavior that day. We were so worried about our sister that we never thought how a father will be feeling in a situation like that, Abel said while scratching his neck. No. It's okay, I completely understand. I kind of expected it from you guys, I said, trying to make the situation less awkward, and saw the mother Luna smiling at the exchange, and then I know she played a big role in this apology. Tina won't be happy with us regarding that when she wakes up, Callahan said from where he stood near Tina's bed, lightly caressing her pale cheeks. Crescent Bella told me that Luna Celestina had a history of being in a coma before. Could you tell me anything regarding that? It might help us in analyzing the current situation, Dr. Stephen asked, trying to make use of the peaceful atmosphere. Yes, she did, but that coma was because of heartbreak. She lost her mate and she herself and her wolf were so broken she was in a coma for around 2 months. Even after waking up, months of therapies were needed to make her accept the fact and bring her back to normal. Luna Alexandra replied with tears in her eyes. 2 months, I exclaimed without thinking. Tina never talked to me about that time period, and I never asked her anything either, cause I did not want her to suffer from the memories. I and Rose will not survive 2 months without time with her. Tina won't be able to stay away from Rose for 2 months. Rose. You said Tina won't be able to stay away from her, right? Callahan asked suddenly, so excited. Yes. When you said you yelled at Tina saying hurtful words. Did you mention anything about Tina's relationship to her daughter? Abel asked with a new light in his eyes, catching up with his brother. Well, that was said out of anger. I said she is a bad mother and she is not Rose's mother. Yay. Something like these, I said. Feeling embarrassed of myself, but the siblings were so excited to listen to words they are literally jumping up and down. Have you tried bringing Rose in here with Tina? Luna Alexandra asked, finally figuring put her son's excitement, but I and Doc are still clueless. We did not intentionally at least brought her here, but on the day of attack she kind of sneaked into Tina's room and started yelling, Mama, and Tina's heart monitor went on overdrive like is having a panic attack. After that we never let her near the hospital premises. I explained the incident happened just before I contacted the Lunar Spirit Pack. Do you think the presence of our little Alpha can help Luna to come back to life? Dr. Stephen asked, making things more clear to me. Abel is the one who responded, well, we can give it a try. Last time Tina was like this is when she lost her mate after losing Mike. The first genuine smile we saw from her was when she met Rose. So, you think she is like this because she is afraid she might lose Rose? I asked, cutting Abel off mid-sentence. Oh Tina, it was nothing but some angry words. I will never split up our family. We are incomplete without you. You are the one who binds us all together. I and Rose will not survive without you. You are our savior, my love. Please come back, dear, I said, going to my knees in near her bed and weeping to her, horrified at the damages my thoughtless words created. I will go get Rose now, I said, standing up and walking outside. Once inside the pack house I followed Rose's scent to her room, but her scent was mingled with another familiar. Walking into my daughter's room, I saw her sleeping form in her toddler bed while Susan staring at her from near her bed. Susan seems totally unaware of presence. As I walked in, stood a few feet behind her. It looks like her wolf is getting more resigned these days. I have been getting complaints on her being aggressive to other female wolves at times. We all know she is not taking the rejection well. Even though what her mate did was wrong, we couldn't completely blame him too. After all, Tina recover, I have to tell her to start training Susan. That might help her to put her mind on something else other than this pain. Susan, Alpha, she looked startled and shocked upon seeing me. Are you babysitting Rose today? No, Crescent. Bella told me to keep an eye on Rosalind while she sleeps. She needs to sort out something at the daycare, she answered, looked so nervous. Okay. I will be taking Rose with me now. Just inform Bella regarding it. You can leave now. Yes, Alpha, saying that she walked out of the room. I waited till she is out of sight to bend down and pick up Rose, who whimpered lightly and snuggled closer to me, walking with my child in my arms to the room where her mom lies unconscious. My only prayer is that Tina's mother and brothers are right, that this child will be able to cure her mother. Once inside Tina's room, I walked straight to her bed and placed the sleeping child to her side and stepped back. Rose snuggled to her mother, a smile blooming on her sweet little lips, something that has been missing from the moment Tina and left home that day. I can feel everyone's eyes on us, watching everyone holding their breath. After stepping in with them, I became one of them, spectators. We watched keenly and prayed furiously for a miracle to happen. I woke up to the feeling of someone running their fingers through my hair. I took a deep breath, filling my lungs with the sweet-scented fresh air. My heart danced at the beautiful song the birds sang. The fingers on my hair are working magic on me. It is relaxing my tense muscles, and I found myself melting at its touch. It is sending sparks to my very being. I opened my eyes to be attacked by the bright light on the outside world. Slowly, Tiny, open them slowly, I hear a voice whisper to me, and I obliged. I opened my eyes again to find a pair of ocean blue eyes staring at me with so much love. A pair of eyes I have been in love with since the day I was born. Mike, I exclaimed. He smiled, tugging a loose strand of my hair behind my ear. I had my head resting on his lap, and he is running his fingers through my hair. But how is this a dream? Or was all that a dream? I asked, sitting up and slowly raising my hands and touching his cheeks. Oh my God, this is real. You are real. Oh, Mikey, you don't believe what happened. I just had the worst nightmare ever. There was an accident. A horrible accident, and worst of all, I lost you. You died. It all felt so real. Mikey, I was scared and frightened and lost. It was not a dream. Tiny Mike cut me off with a pained expression. I am so sorry I had to leave you like that. I promised you that I will never hurt you, but I put you through the worst pain possible. Am so sorry, my love, but how can that be? Then how can you be here? Now I mean, you are really here. I can even touch you, Mike. I don't understand. I cried by cupping his face with my hands, lightly running my fingers on his cheeks. What is the last thing you remember, sweetie? Mike asked me, ignoring my cries without taking his eyes off me. I remember running back home from the grave. Home, oh my God, Rose. Mike, am I dead too? Is that why I could see you? Where are we? Mike, what is this place? I asked him, feeling the paranoia setting in. If this has been a year ago, I would have been happy to join him here, but now I am a mother and I have a sweet little girl to worry about and a whole pack that looks upon me to think about. This is a place between your dream and consciousness, Tina. We call is no land. I am sent here by the moon goddess to guide you, and as her way of apologizing for putting us through all those days. On your way back home, you had an encounter with a group of rogues who were attacking your pack's patrol team. You managed to steer them away from the wounded wolves and take them down, but after the fight, due to stress and exhaustion, you collapsed. From that day, your body is in a coma and your mind is lost in this no land. River refused to heal you and wake you up, since she thinks the real world is so cruel to you and she wants to keep you safe in this dreamland. Samuel is currently pursuing her to come back and join with your human soul so you can go back to your daughter and your family. Mike explained to me tenderly, wiping away the tears. Do I have a choice to stay here with you forever? I asked him, feeling hopeful, but again my heart ached for my little angel. Mike hesitated little before answering. If you choose to not go back, then your human body will die and your soul has to cross the bridge of souls to reach the light. But I don't want that for you now. Tiny, I have been watching you all these years. I have seen your pain, your fake smiles, your hidden tears. Sometimes I moved with the wind to hug you like a breeze. On that first night you met Rosalind and her father, I know they are going to change your life. They are your escape from the hell I created for you. I am happy for you, dear, and I was the happiest when you decided to move on and agreed to marry the Alpha. I have seen how much happy they make you and how important you are to them and the pack. You are an amazing mother, and Luna, I want you to go back to them and carry on your duty to them and be a good, loving wife to the Alpha, and when the time right comes for you to cross the soul bridge, I will be waiting for you on the other side with open arms and a heart filled with love. I have been a sobbing mess by the time he finished his little speech, remembering all those moments at the cemetery and nights where the tears soaked my pillows even without me knowing. He has been with me, carrying me and supporting me, and I know I couldn't have asked for a better mate to the goddess. Then smiling face of Demetrius flashed through my mind, the one who is destined for me, not by the moon goddess but by the fate. Mike hugged me tight as I sobbed, letting out the pain of all those years. I know when I leave this no land, I will be leaving my past behind. I have to go back to my family as a new person, someone who is not haunted by the past. A slight movement caught my attention. Looking up from Mike's chest, I saw River and Samuel walking towards us. River came to me and nudged me with her muzzles and rubbed her forehead on my cheeks. I moved towards her and hugged her. Thank you, girl. Thanks for watching out for me. I could not have asked for a better wolf. I think it's time for us to go back to our daughter. She pulled away from me and nodded. I felt a light nudge to my side and a little whine. I looked away from River to see Samuel looking at me with hopeful eyes. I released my hold on River and opened my arms to Samuel, who came in and hugged me without hesitation. I held him close to me while running my fingers through his soft fur, loving how soft it felt. Standing up, I went to hug Mike, who engulfed me in a tight embrace and kissed me on the forehead. I hid my face on his neck, taking in his chocolatey scent one last time, and whispered to him, Why did you do that the other night? Why you took my place in death? he lightly pulled away and looked into my eyes without releasing me from his arms. He answered me the question I have been asking myself all these years, because I was coward, weak and selfish. I was not strong enough to live the life without you. I was selfish to steal your death away from you rather than dying the slow death in the pain of losing you. I was too weak to move on in life and fight the battles alone. With those words he started to fade away, and I felt myself getting pulled into darkness. Before the darkness consumes me completely, I heard him say, "Give him a chance. Tiny, he deserves happiness. So do you. He has been through a lot like you and me." Coming back to life from a long coma felt different this time. Last time, what greeted me was pain and despair. This time I was welcomed by a pair of cheery emerald green eyes of a squealing toddler. Rose is the first one to find me awake. As she was sitting on the bed near me and playing me my fingers, she squealed, and threw herself on me when she saw my eyes open, and I returned her hug. My arms felt less stiff than the last time. Then came Bella scolding Rose for disturbing her mama. Then upon her shouting came my whole family. My heart overwhelmed with happiness when I saw them. They are all talking at the same time with love, concern and worry evident in their eyes. "Don't you ever do that again. Don't give me heart attacks like this again. We did not train you to jump into dangerous fights all by yourself. You are not the moon goddess to save everyone. It's good to have you back, little one." I listened to their scolding, understanding the pain and fear I put them through. Then Dr. Stephen walked in with his assistants and forced everyone to wait outside so that he can check me. Once I was certified to be in good health and recovering, he let everyone back in. Surprisingly, my body was in a much better condition than in the past case of my comatose stage. He was sure that I will be up by less than a week of cell physiotherapy. Everyone gathered in the room. Rose took a seat on my lap, which she refused to leave no matter how much others tried to persuade her. Everyone was talking, taking turns filling me in on the events of the days I have been out. I am glad to know that at least few of the patrol team was saved, and I made a mental note to thank my pack for decorating the room with my favorite flowers. Even though I looked involved conversations, I missed one face I longed to see. I felt a little sad that he is not here when I wake up, but I know he has his duties to attend to, and Mom told me that he spends every night in this room with me, sitting on an uncomfortable hospital chair. All the conversations died down and heavy tension blanketed the room as I felt a presence by the door, and warm scent of chocolate and cinnamon filled my senses. My eyes shoot up from the dolly. Rose was showing me to a pair of piercing emerald green eyes identical to my daughter's, but this one held the wisdom of age and pain, of love and sadness, of loneliness. He hesitated at the door, unsure of whether to come in or to give me my space. I saw him clenching and unclenching his fist, having a mental argument with himself or his wolf. I offered him a small smile and held out my arms open for him to come into, and that was all he needed to cover the distance between the door and bed in 4 long strides and take me in his arms. As I lost myself in the warm hug of my husband, I saw my friend's parents and siblings leaving the room to give us space. Mom closed the door behind them after offering me a warm smile. We stayed like that till Rose started to get fussy on being trapped in her parents' hugs, pulling out of the hug. Dimitri manured us to that. He is now sitting on the bed with me, sitting on his lap, cuddling close to his chest, and Rose on top of me. Dimitri, I called him, rubbing the tension of his tense arms. "Yes, sweetheart. I'm home in your arms." He hugged me closer, if that is even possible, and kissed my hair and Rose's hair before whispering, "I have my whole world wrapped in my arms now." I laughed as Dimitri chased little Rose around the park. Her laughter rang through the grounds like music. This is my first day out of the hospital, and Dimitri planned a surprise picnic for 3 of us to the park. After spending 3 weeks in the closed hospital room, 2 weeks of recovery, and 1 week of convincing Dimitri that I am well enough to go home, a breath of fresh air is what I need the most. For an outdoor creature like werewolves, staying inside the closed walls for such a long time is the worst type of punishment. Our inner wolf always wants to be connected to nature. Dimitri had the picnic basket packed by Bella and loaded into his SUV. By the time we stepped out of the hospital, we drove about an hour to reach a meadow which overlooks the valley where our pack resides. The view is amazing. I lost myself in its beauty when I first stepped out of the car. Dimitri carried the basket and blanket to a spot under a willow which provided us with a nice view of our valley. Rose ran around playing with tree roots and playing with the butterflies, collecting flowers and small stones. After leaving me with the basket to set up everything, Dimitri went to play with Rose. They chased each other playing tag. This is the first time I am seeing Dimitri so carefree, even though we have been on dates and picnics like this before. All that time Dimitri was a little reserved. It was always me who entertained Rose like this. After playing around for some time, they both ran back to me. Rose launched herself on my lap and Dimitri sat next to me on the blanket grabbing a bottle of soda. "Are you thirsty, Rose?" I asked the exhausted little girl on my lap, and she nodded excitedly. I laughed and handed over her sippy bottle, filling it with lemonade. "Is it yummy?" I asked her, and she just nodded while drinking, using one of her hands to give me a thumbs up. We all laughed together at it. Dimitri sat up, resting his back on the tree, and pulling me close and leaning me to his chest, he snuggled my neck, taking a whiff of me. I giggled, being so ticklish at the spot, gaining Rose's attention to us, who instantly stood up and pushed him away and said, "No, Daddy." "Mummy, no," Dimitri, making me laugh out loud while Dimitri childishly stuck his tongue at our daughter, which she returned. "Do you want a sandwich, Rose? Auntie Bella made you some chicken sandwich." Rose boomed excited, yelling sandwich. Apparently my little girl's new favorite dish is chicken sandwich, and I am the last one to know. I feel like a terrible mother this moment. I missed out around a month with her. I watched Rosie munching on his sandwich when I felt a small nudge on the side. I turned my head to Dimitri, signaling him that I am listening without taking my eyes off my daughter. "Why do you look so down all of a sudden?" he asked with concern in his voice. "Her new favorite dish is chicken sandwich," I said, as if stating the obvious. "Yay, so. And I am the last one to know that. I feel like a terrible mother. I should have thought about at least her before collapsing like that. Even River feels so terrible for blocking out like that," I told him, feeling the light stinging of tears behind my eyes. He sighed and hugged me closer, kissing my hair this time without disturbing Rose, who is so engrossed in her sandwich. "Tina, what you did out there for your pack mates was amazing." "Yes, it was reckless and dangerous, and you scared the hell out of me and others. I thought I really lost you. The image of you lying in that bloodied ground, motionless, still haunts me." Tristan almost went berserk. The only thing that kept us together was thoughts about Rose. "But you are a warrior. A warrior would never run away from someone who needs help. A warrior never abandons her comrades." "I understand that, and I respect that. Our pack respect that. Once old enough, even Rose will do the same. You have a lifetime with us to compensate for that lost month." His voice is filled with pride and acceptance. "And Rose found her new love for these sandwiches just because you were not there. She was being very difficult once you were in the hospital and were not eating anything. Bella or Emily tried to feed her. All of us tried. Me, Philip, Jace, Ethan, even Steven tried to lure her with candies, but she keeps spitting out everything we put on her mouth. At last it was Alexandra who made these sandwiches. She said it was your favorite as a child. Don't know how, but she lured her into taking a bite, and next thing we know she is gobbling it down," he said, chuckling, making me chuckle. "And look at Rose, we found her sound asleep on my lap. Seems like you tired her out," I said while shifting her to a more comfortable position. "Here, we can lay her on the blanket," Dimitri said while trying to take Rose out of my hand. "No. It's okay. She seems comfortable here. She might wake up if we move her to the blanket. The ground might not be much comfortable. If she wakes up in between, she will be grumpy whole day," I said, making him sit back and relax. He started playing with my hair. After a while, both of us lost in our thoughts. "I am sorry for being like that, for talking like that, for hiding everything from you. I know I shouldn't have. I should have understood that you are strong enough to handle the news, but I did not want to scare you away," Dimitri said while lightly stroking my hair, and I sighed and began to respond to him that everything is fine, but he was not finished. "You know, you never asked me about Rose's mother, even though you know she was my real mate. Why was that?" "Girls are usually insecure about the past relationship, right?" I chuckled and replied. I did not ask because I know you will tell me the whole story when you are ready. I wanted you to be comfortable with me when you talk to me about a past you are ready to let go. I think I already let go of her after what she did. We met around 3 years before at a nightclub. I was being bugged by Jace and Philip about this new werewolf club that opened a few weeks before, and we decided to spend the Friday night there. As soon as I walked through the doors, I was hit by the pleasant smell of lavender. Tristan was going crazy inside me. Upon smelling her, we detached ourselves from the guys and started searching for her and found her near the bar. She had blonde hair with light brown eyes, and at that moment I felt she is the most beautiful woman in the world. I learned that she is a rogue who ran away from the pack because she was accused of something she didn't do somewhere in between talks, drinks, and flirting. We ended in bed, and next thing I remember is waking up in the morning to a rest in the morning. Screaming, "Girl," she said, "she doesn't want to be with me, and she has her boyfriend waiting for her at the rogue camp." She started mumbling about ruining everything, ruining her plan. I was completely shocked that my own mate is outrageously rejecting me without even giving us a chance for some stupid boyfriend. I tried to reason with her, begged her to stay, but she was not taking it. I frustrated and took a deep breath, taking in her scent. Then it caught me. She smelled slightly different, not the change in scent when you get when you are mated, but the change that happens when you get pregnant. Her lavender scent now have a werevity, light traces of rose scent in it. That moment I decided if it is a daughter I going to call her Rose, and Rosalind was a name that evolved with that 9 months, he said, lightly stroking Rose's dark blonde hair with his fingers. Then what happened? Did she stay or? I asked him, wanting to know more about them. She stayed, or rather I made her stay, since the child in her womb is half mine. I could control her with my alpha command through the baby and the child, and the mother automatically added under my protection. I commanded her to stay with the pack till the child is 6 months old. I thought by that time I will be able to convince her that we are meant to be together, to treat her like a queen and make her stay by her own will. Those 15 months were the worst time for my pack. I did everything that could please her. I even let her friends, rogues, roam around the territory. She treated my pack members like shit. Rogues disturbed the peaceful atmosphere of my pack. The girls were scared even to go out of their homes alone. I had to appoint a warrior to tag each rogue from the moment they enter the territory until they leave. A number of families left the pack to join another, and I had to let them because most of them were parents with young daughters. He sighed. But none of that was enough for her. One day I caught her making out with her boyfriend in my bedroom while still pregnant with Rose, so I had to command her to stay away from him. When my child is with her, it doesn't matter, inside or outside. I never understand why, but I was never enough for her, and she was never interested in me. She yells at me whenever she saw me. I had to put her on 24/7 security because I was scared she might harm my child. She walked away from us the day the power of the command is lifted without giving a second glance to her 6-month-old daughter. I had had enough by then and decided to work for the family that stays by me, my pack, rather than the one that is running away from me for someone else. So made everything legal, and she just signed away her parental rights to me. He fell silent after telling this, both of us lost in our thoughts. That girl, whoever she is a fool to leave such a sweet child and a man with such a big heart behind. I think we should get going, it's getting dark. I am pulled out of my thoughts as Dimitri speak and nodded after taking in the darkness around us. Once we got home, we gave a bath to half-sleeping Rose and tugged her to bed together. We both kissed her forehead before we leave the room, walking back to our room hand in hand. I couldn't help but believe that everything is back to normal, but I know that it is far from normal. There are questions that are to be answers. Silence embraced as we got ready for bed. We lay there in each other's arms, taking in the comfort and warmth after a very long time, and I couldn't find an opportunity better than these to ask the questions that have been bothering me for a while now. Dimitri, I called him while playing with his hands as he spoons me from behind. He hummed, partly lost in his thoughts. What happened that day? Why were you so angry? What drove Tristan to the edge like that? I felt him tense up and tugged at his hands, resulting him to tighten the hug and bury his face into my neck as he started shaking with anger. I could hear Him taking deep breaths trying to calm down. Dmitri, you still did not believe that I caused any harm to your daughter, right? Even though I tried to hide my pain and disappointment from him, I failed. What no? He said, utterly surprised at my words. Please don't think like not even for a second. You are the best mother a child can have, and no. Our Rose is truly blessed to have a mother like you. Your questions brought some bad memories to me. That why I reacted like that suddenly. You know you can tell me anything, right? I know there is something going on with an increased number of kidnaps and murders, and don't think you could fool me by hiding the guards. I have noticed the increased number of guards. Well, so now tell me what is wrong. Is it another rogue gang work? What are they after? I asked him, trying to show him that I am not only Luna but a warrior in the heart too. Rose. They are after our daughter Rosalind Grace. Demetrius. What? But why? What does an innocent little girl have to do to them? I asked, suddenly having an urge to run to my daughter and hold her. I couldn't help but think whether she is even safe at her bedroom. Because the person who gave birth to her wants her back now. I couldn't believe my ears. Now I wish to just wake up to get an escape from this nightmare. No, I can't lose my daughter. No. No, Dmitri, please. Please do something. I can't lose my child. Please do something. I cried to him. Now I know how my mother felt every time when my life was endangered. I felt so guilty for hurting her like that. We won't, sweetheart, we won't lose our child. I won't let her touch our child, he said with determination in his voice. I replayed the video, watching them tucking in my daughter and kissing her goodnight. It should be me who is tugging her in and kissing her goodnight. It should be me and my boyfriend who should be there, not them. It should be me she calls mama, not her, cause I give birth to her. I fed her, carried her for 9 months. She is half me. It is my blood that is running through her veins. She is my daughter. I watched her every day when she played outside from far away. I wanted to go to her and hug her, but there is always someone, people who knew me with her. I can't risk it. I can't risk them increasing her guard, and it is not helping that our inside person is a scared kitten. We thought she is strong when she first came to us offering help, but she turned out a wrong. She scared on everything of implanting this cam on the nursery, taking my daughter out for me to meet her, or sneaking me in, and everything. She is scared of doing anything. My partner walked in, saw me watching the videos again. He sighed and came close to me, taking a seat with me on the couch, and pulled me into his lap. I snuggled closer, seeking warmth from him, taking in his scent. He stinks, but we all do. Then he spoke, reassuring me, don't, sweetheart, we will have your daughter here with us. There won't be much delay now. He gave a humorless laugh and continued, the game is on. The 2 big wolves ran through the woods, dodging the trees, jumping over the fallen old tree trunks, one as black as the midnight and one as white as the moon. Like a yin and yang, they completed each other. They slowed down as they approached the old cabin, which stands around the borders shared by 3 mighty packs of all times: Shadow, Night, Lunar Spirit, and Blood Moon. The wolves slowed down at the sight of the other leaders, and former leader, waiting for them, went behind the tree to shift back to their human forms. Putting on the clothes kept for them, they walked out from the tree cover to greet their friends and families in a human way. Daddy, I greeted, making a beeline to my father's open arms for a bear hug. It's nice to see you too, Princess, Dad said, handing me over to my brothers for a group hug. It's good to see you up and running. We left for the pack with a heavy heart that day, seeing you struggling to walk around during your physiotherapy, Christabel said, ruffling my hair. I gave them a happy smile and turned to the other Alpha and Beta to greet them formally. Alpha James. Beta Luke. It is very nice of you guys for agreeing to help us in this crisis, I said to their, bending my head a little, showing respect, and sorry for not addressing you earlier. I was just so happy to see my family. It's all right, dear, even my daughter is all the same, Alpha James said with a smile. Come on, let us all get into the cabin, Dmitri said, standing close to me, nodding towards Philip, who is waiting at the open cabin door. We left Ethan and Jace in charge of Rose and the pack house. I felt Dmitri arms around my waist, pulling me close to his side and sniffing me. What are you doing? I asked, slapping at his hands and pulling away from him, feeling embarrassed. Mates, sniffing each other is quite normal and intimate, but Being sniffed by your husband in front of your father, brothers and other elderly is quite embarrassing. You smell different. Did you change your perfume? He asked me, looking confused. What? I don't use any perfume, my dear husband, I said with a huff and smelled myself. But, do I smell really bad? No. You smell really delicious, he said again, as in a trance and taking deep breaths of my scent. Stop being creepy, Dim, you are scaring me, I told him, pushing him away from my personal space. Are you two lovebirds coming, or should we start without you? We heard Philip called out loud. Nope, we are coming, I said, tugging Dimitri's arms, who looks like he lost it and is now glaring at his beta. What's wrong with him? Philip whispered, leaning to me as I got close to him, earning a growl from Dimitri, pulling me close to his side. Alpha moved to place himself between me and the beta. I gave Phil a one-shoulder shrug as the reply to his question. Wow, calm down, man, I am happily mated to my mate, Philip said, raising his arms in surrender, chuckling while Dimitri pulled me into the room and seated me between himself and my father. I feel embarrassed about his behavior. Everyone was looking at us curiously, but no one said a thing. So Alpha, Dimitri, what makes you think the rogues are after your young daughter? Alpha, James asked, addressing Dimitri. Dimitri hesitated for a minute before he starts. The rogue leader directly sent us a couple of messages asking to hand over the child, and recently the murder is of the child's babysitter, a teenage girl. Those sick bastards went as far as placing my child's cuddly toy on the corpse. He was growling by the time he finished. Is there any reason why? Beta Luke asked while leaning forward and placing his elbows on the table. This was the part we feared the most. We haven't even told my family about Rose's birth mother being involved with the rogues. I squeezed his hands tightly, giving him the support he needed. The messages said that the child's birth mother wants her back. What do you mean by that? Cal asked, slightly alarmed. Dimitri sighed before continuing. My ex-mate, the one who gave birth to Rose, is running with the rogues now. What? My father and both my brothers shouted at the same time while the Blood Moon pack watched calmly. Dad tried to pull me away from Dimitri, earning a growl from him, and he tried to pull me back. I had to yank my arms away from both of them and yell, guys, stop this now. Sit down and listen to what he has to say. After everyone is calmed down and settled, Dimitri explained the situation to everyone. My mate was dating this rogue even before we met. She spends the night we met with me and ended up getting pregnant with Roslyn. I had to order her against her will to make her stay here with us until the baby is 6 months old. She is up and gone the day Rose turned 6 months. We haven't heard anything about her up until recently, connected to the attacks. You do know that a mother has more rights on a female child legally, right? Alpha James, who was silent this whole time, asked. Dimitri nodded in response. Yes, I know. I had her sign the legal documents before she leaves. She doesn't even hesitate a second to sign away her rights over her child. The only thing she wanted was to run back to that rogue. He spat the last words and everyone nodded in agreement. So, what do you propose? Christabel asked, going to the business. I couldn't concentrate much on what is being said as I feel suffocated in the closed-up room. It's getting so hot to be in crowded rooms these days. I was getting restless and couldn't sit straight. I wriggled around in my seat, earning a glare from my father. What are you guys not feeling so hot? I am burning up here. Dad placed a hand on my forehead, assessing my temperature like he used to do while I was a kid. Your body temperature is a little high, but you are not burning up. I saw Dimitri glaring at Dad's hands on my forehead, and gave him a weird look. What's wrong with you? He shook his head and looked away. All this time Alpha James was looking at me with an amused smile. When was the last time you had your heat, child? He asked me directly, causing heat to rise on my cheek and turning myself into a ripened tomato. I never had my heat before. I could see Dimitri looking at me surprised and Dad giving me a sad look. This is something that always worried our family. I think Moon Goddess left me barren after my destined mate passed away. I have done my research when I did not get heat after turning 18, and there were stories where the female wolves became barren when their mates die, so unmated wolves don't father a child with them, thereby abandoning their own mates. A lone drop of tear dripped from my eyes, tracing a path over my cheeks. I felt a familiar set of fingers wiping it away. I looked up to see Dimitri watching me with a concerned look. I tried to give him a smile and he pulled me close and kissed my forehead. "I am sorry," I whispered to him. "I know this is something I should have told him in the privacy of our bedroom, but I was a coward, and was afraid to bring up this topic." A chuckled, pulled us out of the emotional moment we were staring, and everyone was staring at Alpha James, who chuckled. "It seems like Moon Goddess was not that cruel after all," he exclaimed, and his beta nodded, but rest of us are still staring at them, not understanding the underlying meaning. "You still did not get it, did you?" he asked me, and I shook my head. "Dearie, the symptoms you were showing is of your upcoming heat. The way your husband is acting possessive and way he kept sniffing you, you will smell more appealing to him, and you will be feeling hot and irritated, unsatisfied, thirsty, etc., and also your scent intensified from the last time I met you. None of us are affected by this because we are all happily mated to our destined mates." I just stood there, mouth gaping, how to react to the news. I want to jump up and down and do a happy dance, but I am a Luna and I have to behave. I send a silent prayer to the goddess for his words to be true, that I am not left barren anymore. Then I hear multiple deep breaths, and Dimitri growled, making me smile. "You are right, her scent is more intensified now." "How come we did not notice?" Christabel wondered out loud. "Because you didn't believe that this is possible, so your minds don't register the changes. Only the one who looks for the change see the change," Alpha replied in his calm manner. "As for you, Alpha, you should take your wife home and do the needful so that she will have a smooth heat period. Guessing from your reaction, her heat will be here in 1 or 2 days. Since you have not claimed her yet, you better keep the unmated wolves out of the house. We will all prepare against rogues as we have planned, and will schedule another meeting another day." "Oh, this is why she said so," Philip exclaimed out loud. "Who said what?" I asked him. "Bella." He gulped. I mean, we are pregnant." "Oh my gosh, that's wonderful news, Phil. When did you guys found? Why didn't you tell us yet?" I asked him as the guys slapped his back, congratulating him. "Last week." "Bella was worried that the news will affect you badly, mainly because you just woke up from a coma. She said she will tell you when the time is right." I did not know this is the reason she doesn't want to share the news with anyone. I thought she doesn't want to have my baby, that I might have embarrassed her in some way. He finished, hanging his head in shame. "Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Bella worries too much about me. She needs to define her own life rather making assumptions. But I can assure you, Phil, she is not embarrassed by you. She is very proud of you," I told him, giving him a smile. "Announce it to the pack soon, buddy. The pack will rejoice," Dimitri added. As we said our goodbyes and ran back to our packs, I couldn't help but wonder if this all just a dream. "Will you please stop going in circles? You are making me dizzy." Jace pretending to swoon and fall and laughing at his own joke. "You should stop pacing and go to her room," Philip said while Bella snuggled close to him, his arms protectively laying across her pregnant belly. "No, I can't. I won't be able to control Tristan if we get any closer to her," I said, shaking my head. "I am quite sure she will want to there with her," Bella said with a sly smile on her face. "Yeah, she might like it now, but what happens after her heat? I don't want her to regret any decision taken on mere lust." I paused a second before continuing. "I don't want her to regret us." Philip sighed and shook his head. "The 4 of us are sitting at the front garden taking a breather. Well, I am taking a breather while others are just keeping me company. Where is Rose anyway? Haven't seen her whole day," Jace asked, looking around, expecting the toddler to run out of the bushes. "She is with her mother." Tina insisted on having Rose with her ever since she woke up from that coma. "She always needs Rose's presence around her," she said. "River gets antsy when Rose is away." Feeling a little jealous that she asked for Rose but not me. Oh my god, I can't believe I just got jealous of my daughter for spending time with Celestina. This heat is screwing up my mind. I really doubt if it is me or she who is going through this stupid thing, I growled out. "It wouldn't be this bad if you don't try to resist your nature. Tristan already accepted River as his mate. That is why you are feeling this pull on her heat. When are you going to accept her?" Philip said. "Ever since the first day of Tina's heat he is trying to persuade me into mark her and mate." and her. It is not because I don't accept her, I accept her, I love her, she and Rose meant the world to me. I just don't want to use her heat to take our relationship to next level. I don't want her decision to be mine in all aspect, not to be forced by the lustful thoughts of the heat. I yelled back at them. The group fell silent after my outburst, everyone lost in their own thoughts. Philip's hands absent-mindedly rubbing Bella's pregnant belly, and she is dozing off on his shoulder. I sighed, rubbing my face with hands before breaking the silence. Bella is dozing off, you should take her inside. He nodded and picked her up. When is her scan scheduled? Next week? It was supposed to be this week, but she wants Tina to be there with her on it, so she asked the doc to schedule it after Luna's heat, Philip said with a chuckle and kissing her forehead. I turned my head to see Jace looking at the retreating figure of our friend with longing, then shook his head before sighing deeply. You should be thankful the moon goddess is giving you a second chance, a chance to love and live again. He told me with grief in his voice. You will find her, Jace, it is not time yet, have patience, my friend. The goddess who is kind enough to give me and Celestina a second chance surely won't make you suffer. Have faith in her. I told him, patting him back, who shook his head and smiled back at me as the alpha and his friend. I could see the hidden grief in him no matter how hard he tries to hide it in his Joker facade. 5 of us grew up together, me, Philip, Jace, Ethan and Steven. One by one all of us found our mates except for Jace, and this is affecting him really bad. Even though he laughs and jokes, he yearns for his mate all the time. Are you sure I can't go inside the pack house and raid the kitchen? He asked out of the blue, taking me by surprise. What? I asked, confused. I will be quick and will be out of the house before you know it. He tried giving a puppy dog eyes. No. You can't go inside and those eyes won't work on me, I said sternly. What about my seductive eyes? He said, trying to show me what looks like half-sleepy look to me. You are not going inside my house when my wife is on her heat. I shouted at his face, making him raise his hands in surrender. Come on, man. She is like my little sister. I will never get any dirty thoughts about her to let alone do something out of the way. I will come and go inside through the back door. Please, he tried again. The cabins you guys are staying is loaded with food, then why do you want to steal from my home? I asked him, irritated. Once Celestina's heat started, we moved all unmated wolves out of the pack house to a cabin near the pack borders, thereby strengthening the border security and keeping Tina safe. Yay! But they are all frozen or fast food. I want to eat something fresh and my mind stayed. There is some chocolate cake left from dinner. Your cabin is near the river. Go and catch some fish. I am a wolf, not a bear, to catch fish, he grumbled out annoyingly. One last chance, Alpha, will you let me in? You will regret your decision if not. I growled at him for the tone of disrespect, but remained cool, unfazed, and continued. Since you're neither letting me inside the house nor providing me with fresh food, I am going to the town to feed myself. He paused and eyed me with caution, moving slightly away from me, anchoring his body in the opposite direction before he continued, and I am taking your SUV. Mine is broken. He yelled out before running towards the SUV, jumped and drive away in the direction of the nearest town. You better bring it back in one piece, I yelled back at him as he sped away. Jace is notorious in the pack for his harsh driving and rough handling of the cars. Anyone who knew him will never lend him their car. He might have stolen the keys sometime before while we were talking. I sighed and decided to head inside to my office to get some work done. To be in the same house as my wife who is on heat is pure torture. We should go to our wife. Tristan grumbled at me. She needs us now. We will wait till she is ready, I told him sternly. She is unclaimed human. What if some unmated fools try to mate her? He growled at me. No one is going anywhere near her. All unmated wolves are warned to stay out of here, I growled at him, and was a little surprised when I get a feminine whimper in return. We looked down to see a quivering Susan who looks like a deer caught on the headlight. Good evening, Susan. I did not see you there. My apologies for scaring you, I said with a smile after our talk related to that little incident during Tina's introduction. Susan is being really good to both Tina and Rose. When Tina was in the coma, she helped out Bella to take care of Rose. What brings you here? Mom was baking this afternoon, and she sends some goodies for the Alpha family, she said, looking at the floor, not daring to look at the Alpha's eyes. But the kitchen is the other way, Susan. I know, I was just checking whether Luna needs some help with Rosa. Rosalind, she said, stuttering a little at the name that sends a shiver down my spine. It's been a long time. Someone addressed my Rose by that name. That is what her birth mother used to call her. She refused to address her by any name I gave the child, so she made her own nickname for the baby. Looks like Rose's content with staying with her mother. You can go now, I told her sternly, stressing the name Rose to her. It has become an unspoken rule in the pack that no one is to call Rosalind by the name Rosa. For them, that name symbolizes a dark time. She bowed to me and ran out of the door. Resisting my urge to go to Tina's room, I walked towards into my office room. Something felt wrong as I approached the doors. Ignoring the nagging feeling, I went into the room. I froze as I walked into the room. Everything was in place except for a blood-red envelope sitting on the top of the paper piles on my table right in front of my chair, as if waiting for me. My heartbeat spiked on the thought how it might have reached there. Tristan was pushing forward, making move fast towards the table, and see the content in the envelope with the claws out now. I tore the envelope to make the Polaroid photo inside it to fall out. The photo printed on the paper, my blood freeze. It is the photo of Tina playing with Rose in her room, taken through the open window today about an hour before. But how can they come this deep into the pack territory without being noticed? How dare they to come this close to my family? Even before I could registering my wolf had me moving towards our bedroom where Tina is now with our daughter. I mind-linked Philip to meet me outside Tina's room. I knocked on the door twice before opening the door. The room is darkened with curtains closed, and it felt almost empty, except for the small figure sleeping on the middle of the large bed, and I want her out of here before I lost into my friend's wolf. I went near the bed and took sleeping Rose in my arms, and without waking her I walked out of the room and handed her over to Philip. He gave me a questioned look and gave him the crumbled Polaroid image. He nodded in understanding with a single glance at the photo and turned around and walked away with my daughter in his arms. I walked back into the room and pulled open the curtain from the window from where the photo is taking and surveyed the area. There is nothing out of ordinary there. I could hear Celestina moving in the bathroom room, placing the curtains back in place. I walked towards the bathroom door and knocked twice on the door, waited for her response. Once I get the confirmation, I walked in and found her in the bathtub in what is supposed to be a bubble bath, but most of the bubbles are gone now, and water is almost clear. I know I shouldn't stare, that I should look away, but I couldn't take my eyes away from her. She is a true beauty, one of God's masterpiece creations. Hello. Can you pass me the towel? She asked me, bringing me out of my dirty thoughts. You should have put on some clothes before you let me in, I grumbled, passing to her the towel resting on the stand and turning around, so she can come out of the tub and dry herself. I listened to every sound she was making, trying to imagine what action might be making that sound. I fisted my hands tight to stop myself from going up to her and wrenched that towel away from her and cover her up with my body. The big Alpha is afraid of a naked woman? She asked, running her finger over my back, tracing my spine, and walked in front of me, swaying her hips seductively. Then only I notice I am not wearing a shirt. Arg, you are killing me here, Tina, I breathed out. I know. She winked at me, giggled, and took a seat on the bed and crossed her one leg over the other, giving me a good view of her thighs. I gulped. You shouldn't be sitting like this when you are in a towel. She raised an eyebrow at my statement and smirked at me. Now tell me about the purpose of your visit. You were so keen on staying away from me ever since Alpha James told us about my heat. Why are you here now? She pouted at me, but her eyes showed curiosity. I growled at the mention of another male wolf by her. First thing, don't mention about another male to your mate when you are on heat. And second, I came here because of this, I told her, showing the picture. One look at the photo, her face changed from amusement to horror. Oh my God, how could they get this close? It is taken from a tree somewhere near the window. She moved towards the window to see from where the picture is taken. I pulled her away from the window, wrapping my arms around her waist over the towel. Don't even think about pulling those curtains away dressed like this, I hissed at her, pulling her close to me with the whole length of our body touching. Each other, only her towel and my track pants separating us. She blushed as my excitement pressed against her back. So the smart mouth do blush, huh? I teased her, seeing her discomfort. I pressed my face on her shoulder and kissed her neck where my mark should lay, using my other hand that is not wrapped around her waist to lightly rub at her collarbone. Crossing over her chest, she let out of a soft moan, giving her approval. That little soft moan was enough to tip my lust-crazed self over the edge, but the logical part in me somehow hold on. I wanted to get her approval before we moved to the next step in this relationship. I turned her slowly to face me. She was blushing and looking down, biting her lips. That sight itself earned a moan from me. I used my fingers to free her lower lips from the grasp of her teeth and kissed them lightly, pulling away before I forgot the task in hand. She was looking at me with confusion and her eyes looking sad. I decided to talk fast before she thinks I am rejecting her. A wolf on her heat is very sensitive, just like the human woman on period. Tina, I want you to 100% sure about us before we move on to the next step. I don't want you to second guess yourself once I claimed you, because once we close this distance between us there won't be any going back. I will be claiming you as my mate tonight. Are you ready for that? I asked her, slightly scared of her reply. A big part of me want her to agree to me. She stared at me for a second and then give me a smile that melts my heart, and she herself crossed the distance between us, her lips claiming mine. After they had spent time together, I have been up for about half an hour now, but I don't want to move and wake my mate. Our limbs are intertwined with each other and I don't want to move out of this warmth. Her happiness, calmness filling me, my marks shining dark and deep on her porcelain skin. Marks that appear on our skin is another thing we couldn't understand. Some scientist says it's the reaction of your mate's saliva on your blood. Still, there is a little magic from Moon Goddess that makes it into a wolf. Marking varies for different couples based on their personality, their type of relationship, etc. The male and female will be holding the same mark, as the mark defines their collective personality. The mark engraved on us is of a single wolf in both white and black fur, like a yin and yang, describing how opposite or contrary we are, actually complementary, interconnected and interdependent to each other, and how we support each other as we are interrelated to one another. I felt her stirring lightly to my side and kissed her lightly on the lips. Good morning, sleeping beauty, or should I say, good afternoon, I said with a teasing tone. Good afternoon. We have been sleeping for the whole day. Oh, Rose. She might be worried not seeing us whole day. She'd been talking to herself while trying to pull her up from the bed while I pulled her back. Calm down, mate. Our daughter is with her godfather and family. They are all out on a picnic now. I kicked them all out for the whole day while you are sleeping, so it's only me and you in this house. I gave her a sly smile when she glared at me lightly, massaging her tummy while placing butterfly kisses on her shoulder. So, what you say about a second round? Second, huh? You are bad at maths, mate. I should be careful not to let you teach maths to our kids, she said with a huff. So which round is this? I asked her, mocking her. She said, blushing and giggling. I won't be worrying about the numbers right now, I said, and she laughed, pulling me closer for a deep kiss. The laughter of my little girl filled the air as I watched her and her mother decorating our backyard with the help of some pack members. Tina was keen on recruiting Rose's help and suggestions in everything starting from the party theme to the color of the balloons, making the little one feel so important. Today is Rose's second birthday. Her mother is planning on a huge party which compensated for the first birthday party no one remembers to host for the young one. We are planning to use this occasion to declare Celestina as the Luna of Raz, the Shadow Knight pack, officially at this event. As much as I want to go down there to join them in the fun they are having with tying the balloon and putting on the decorative, the office works had me tied down in the office, which has to finish before heading down to greet the visiting pack, some of those related to the recent rogue attacks. The pack house buzzed with activity as everyone runs around fixing up the place for the evening event. The ladies in charge of the kitchen is having a rough time with cooking up for the grand dinner tonight and keeping the sneaky teenagers away from the fries and cupcakes. Men worked hard in carrying the furniture and logs to make a makeshift stage and temporary seats. Tina even went ahead and designed a playpen for the children so that the parent will be less worried about their safety. It has been a long time the pack had hosted such a big party, and I can feel happiness and excitement pouring out of everyone and how proud they are of their alpha family. All the reservation they had towards Rose previously had melted away long ago. With the arising rogue problem, we are planning to make this meeting an opportunity to strengthen the bond between the packs. I just found out that Tina is an expert in making more social connections and she has friends in almost all packs. So, tonight we are expecting a rather big crowd of alpha and beta families from the neighboring packs SP the Lunar Spirit, Blood Moon and Red Crescent. If you keep ogling at your wife like this, you won't be able to attend today's function. The papers won't do themselves, Philip said from the desk while he is immersed in a stack of paper and muttering in his breath, "Kids." I walked near to him and smacked him. "Ouch," he cried out. Jace started laughing and stopped when both turned our glare to him. "What had you all grumpy today?" Jace asked Philip while trying to suppress his laughter. "Couldn't sleep a wink last night. Bella kept me up all night," he said, sighing and hitting his forehead on the desk, and Jace snickered. "You should be happy for the treat then," Jace said, wiggling his eyebrows at Phil. "Oh yay. Staying up all night to cooking up in the kitchen is not my type of fun. She made me cook from omelets to pancakes to pasta last night, said she is craving for it, but by the time I put the plate in front of her she will run off to the bathroom to throw up. Afterward comes back and announces she is no longer craving this dish, and asks for something else, and it went on like this till morning until Tina walked into the kitchen and relieved me," Philip explained while trying hitting his forehead on the table. This time both me and Jace started laughing. "Laugh as much as you guys want, we will see how you will fare with your pregnant mate," he grumbled, going back to his papers. "Haha. I don't have to worry about that anytime sooner, but you should watch out, Alpha," Jace said while laughing, but that had me thinking, unlike with my fated mate, with my chosen mate I won't be able to detect the scent of the pup right after fertilization, not till the baby reaches at least 2 months. So with Tina I wouldn't know about pregnancies until she tells me that she is with child. "Think I have to wait and see?" I exclaimed. "What, nothing, go back to your work, I am talking to myself." "Thought so," and then I threw a paperweight at my gamma, who never know when to shut up. The excitement in the air multiplied as the evening grew closer. Little lights hanging from the trees illuminating the backyard of the pack house, streamers and balloon hang from the tree, and helium-filled balloons printed with pictures of Anna, Elsa, Olaf and all frozen characters decorated the little makeshift stage and tables and the play area arranged for the kids. Rose, dressed in a light blue dress which she claimed to be like Princess Anna, jumped up and down on the bed, hyper excited. "Calm down, Rosie, or you will fall off the bed and get a boo-boo," I told her while trying to fix my light blue color tie. "No, Rosie, Daddy. Anna. Anna," she yelled while continued to jump. "Okay, Anna. Sit still or you will mess up your Anna hairstyle," Tina said while pulling away from the vanity table where she was doing her last touch upon the makeup, and that simple sentence had the little girl to sit still. "Come here, let me fix that tie for ya," she told me as she walked to me and pulled me close by the tie and started fiddling with it. "There, it is all fixed," she said, giving it a final tug. I give her a peck on the nose as my thanks and she giggled. "Come, let's go. Everyone will be arriving soon," I said, walking towards Rose to pick her up while Tina takes a once-over glance at the full-size mirror. Just as I was about to scoop up the little girl in my arms, she jumped off the bed and started walking ahead of us, saying, "Rose, walk, Daddy, Rose, big girl," leaving me in somewhat a shocking state. Tina laughed at my expression and patted my shoulder, whispering to me, "Come on, Dimitri, it's just for today. She will begging you to pick her up by tomorrow," and looped her arms in my arms. We walked downstairs hand in hand while Rose, skipping ahead of us. Our friends and families waited in the living room to greet us before joining the party. Lunar Spirit Pack and Red Crescent Pack has already arrived as before we went to get ready for the part. Look like Alpha James and Beta Luke of Blood Moon Pack had also arrived while we are getting ready. Rose ran to Luna Alexandra yelling, "Grandma!" The old Luna opened her arms for my daughter and scooped her up. She already accepted Rose as her eldest grandchild like her daughter accepted the child. Tina walked towards the ladies, hugging and greeting each of them. I saw a sadness in her eyes when she hugged the old crescent of her pack, her late mate's mother. My heart pained for her, and deep down I know it is a pain that will never be able to wipe away from her heart. It is a pain that she cherishes, a pain that kept her alive until Rose came along sighing. I walked towards the Alpha, who are gathered at the other side of the room, murmuring among them, "Sorry for my tardiness, Alpha," I said as I joined the Alphas. "It is quite understandable, Alpha." Alpha Come responded with a smile and went back to the discussion that is going on as we stood there talking about the recent activities in our packs and the rogue issues. My eyes wandered to my wife again, and saw her sitting between Elizabeth and Alice, both of them huge and round with their first child on the way. As I saw her gushing over them, I couldn't help but wish I could see her round with my child in her. Alpha. The pack is waiting in the backyard for the guest and Alpha family to join them, one of the warriors informed me, and we lead our guest to the backyard where the party is set. The cake table is set to the middle of the yard, and the pack stood around it waiting for the birthday girl and her family to arrive. Rose skipped ahead of us excitedly towards her Frozen-themed birthday cake, while I and Celestina walked side by side just after her and rest of the guests following us. Once everyone is gathered, Tina lighted the candle, and to the little girl's surprise and to mine too, the birthday music started playing from the flower bud-shaped candle. The bud began to bloom to reveal an Anna figurine at the center. Rose jumped up and down in excitement and lunged to get the figurine in her hands. Tina caught her just in time to save the whole cake from being thrashed. "Okay, Rosie, close your eyes. Make a wish and blow the candle," Tina told to the little girl, who took those words like words of wisdom, and with a determined look, closed her eyes, took a deep breath and tried to blow out the candle, and with a little help from me and her mother she did succeed. She immediately opened her eyes and looked towards Tina with so much excitement. When she did not find what she was expecting, she turned towards me, then she walked behind us as she was searching for something. When we saw her pouting and her bottom lips started to quiver slightly, we knew something was clearly wrong. Tina picked her up before she starts a full-blown episode and started patting her softly. "What is it, baby? You did not like the cake?" I asked her, trying to hide my reservation towards this blue cake, earning a glare from Tina. "What did you wish for, honey?" Tina asked her. Rose just stayed silent, resting her head on Tina's shoulder and angling herself facing the crowd. Rose raised her little fingers and pointed at Olivia holding Emily as said baby soft in a quivering voice. "You mean you wished for a baby for you?" I asked, shocked. "She did not ask for a baby for herself, Dimitri. She asked for a sibling," Aunt Wilma said, coming closer to us and hugging Tina and Rose and placing a soft kiss on Rose's forehead. "Oh. Okay," I said with words lost from my mind. "Fix it, please," I plead to Tina, who is now as red as a tomato. She sighed and placed Rose on a little chair and sat on her knees to reach the child's level. "Look here, sweetie. You want a baby to play with?" And Rose just nodded without taking her eyes from Emily. I stood by them silently watching the interaction between the mother and child, wanting to the response Tina is planning to give to the child. "Oh baby, don't be sad. God is looking for the best baby in heaven because he wants to give the best baby for his little Rose. Just be patient, sweetie," she said, kissing Rose's forehead. Rose's eyes lit upon hearing those words, best baby for Rose. She questions Tina, who just nodded with a smile on her lips and put her down, who ran to the playpen to play with her friends. "So best baby, huh?" I asked her, sneaking behind her and kissing her mark, while pulling her body close to mine by the waist. She looked so disheartened. Tina said, relaxing into my arms. "It's okay, we can." I was cut off by someone clearing their throat. I growled at the interruption and looked up to see a smirking Jace. "Everyone is waiting for the alpha couple to announce the mating and introduce the Luna formally. We will be there in a minute." I dismissed him before turning back to Tina, who looked unsure of herself at the moment. "What's bothering you? Is this formal introduction really necessary? I mean, everyone knows we are married, and this mark surely shows we are mated, right? This whole arrangement sounds so awkward," she said, slightly shaking her head. I don't even remember Liza having such a ceremony in our pack. We have been through this, Tina. This is something that is being done in this pack since a long time. And Tristan is so restless with all the recent activities, and he wants to announce to the world that you belong to him. It's gonna be okay. I told him once again, urging her to move towards the makeshift stage. Rose is gonna be okay at the play area. We have people there to take care of her, I assured her when I saw her giving a worried glance towards the play area. We entwined our fingers as we walked towards the stage, smiling at everyone we met on the way, waving at those who waved at us. We stood side by side at the stage. She stood beside me as my equal, which she is, which is what I want her to be. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here to celebrate our little angel's special day. This day is also the celebration of the light that is shone upon our pack after the dark time our pack has been through as well. We have been through a lot. I have failed my pack as an alpha, I have failed my daughter as a father, and I have failed my wife as a husband, but as they say, failures are the stepping stones of success. So after all my failure, here I stood before you as a successful alpha, a successful father, and a proud husband. As the head of the pack and also as the head of my little family, I want to thank my pack for being by our side through all our hardship, for not losing your hope and confidence on us. I paused after saying this and everyone broke into loud applause. This gathering here have two mottos. One is to celebrate my daughter's birthday and the other is, I went on my knees after saying these while pulling Tina's arms so she is facing me now. Everyone started cheering and whistling. Tina gasped when she saw me on knees pulling out the little velvet box which houses my mother's wedding ring. She wanted my mate to have this. My dear Celestina, I know the marriage official tied us, the mating eternally bonded us, and we are so in love in spite of the bondings the goddess made for us, and I wanted to do this, I want to do this for the woman I love, the woman I cherish. For the first time while addressing a meeting, I felt complete in the soul. It feels wonderful to share a bond like this with an amazing person like you. I want you to know that you are a strong Luna, a protective mother, a passionate lover, a well-trained warrior, and a very loyal pack member, even though the whole pack accept you as the Luna, but they see you as their alpha. On the day when you defended the pack mates, you set a new example for everyone. This is my mother's wedding ring, which she wants me to give to my true love. When we got married we were friends, but now I know I have found love in you. Please accept this as the token of love we share. After finishing the little speech, I waited for her response. I don't know what I expected her to do, but really hope she will accept the ring and save me from all the embarrassment. I could see tears in her eyes as she gives me her ring finger to slide in the ring. But this time I could see laughter in her eyes along with the tears. I am out of words and the emotions are overwhelming me. I can't find any words enough to tell you how I feel right now or how much I love you, she said before going on tiptoes and kiss me. I pulled her closer, deepening the kisses and sliding in my tongue through her sweet lips, tasting her sweetness. Applause and cheers surrounded us as we stood there lost in each other. What are you waiting for? How long do I have to wait? She doesn't deserve this. She doesn't deserve to be happy. She killed him. And I want her destroyed. I am seeing red now. My wolf eyes glowed with the thirst for her blood. She does not deserve to be happy. I want to wipe that smile off her face. She stole my happiness. She killed the only one I loved. I want her dead. I want her to die a slow, painful death. I want her to deteriorate part by part, inch by inch. And I want to see her suffer from my eyes, and I want to get my fill out of her pain and sorrow. Then I can rest content with having my revenge. The familiarity of the scene was unsettling as I walked around looking for an exit from the labyrinth I was caught in. Each turn proved to be a wrong one as I wandered aimlessly, eyes decisive me as I tried following the light. Wails and screams of agony tortured my sensitive ears as I ran, covering them with my hands. The hideous smell of blood and death suffocated me as I struggled to breathe to fill my lungs. Among all these chaos attacking all my senses, my trained warrior sense picked up the scent of a familiar flower in the air. My heart beat fast as the thought of this sweet scent be mixed with the scary smell of death. The scent grew stronger, as fast walked towards it, now mingled with the mouth-watering dark chocolatey scent. With racing heartbeats I followed the scents to see light coming from the end of a long tunnel. The wind brought the baby giggles and masculine laughter with it to me, mixed with the unfamiliar giggles of a female running faster. I emerged at a familiar green meadow, and there they are standing with a tight embrace with their child in between them. My heart broke a little when I see my husband standing there alongside with his mate with his arms around her. It broke even more when my little angel called an unknown woman by Mama. But the happiness in their faces made it all better. Their smiles and joy made up for all the pain I am feeling now. I am content and happy by seeing the joy in them. Suddenly the atmosphere changed. The sun hides in the dark clouds, casting shadows of danger upon us, and then I saw him at the far end of the meadow. Looking dark and dangerous, he trotted towards the little family, who is oblivious to the destruction that is to fall upon them. His eyes, as red as it used to be, baring sharp wolf teeth with rabid saliva dripping through them. He brought destruction upon me once. I won't let him do it again to the people I love. With that thought in mind, I ran towards the little group at the middle of the meadow, while the dark wolf started speeding as well. I jumped in front of them as I saw the wolf jumping on them with his mouth wide open, ready to plunge the teeth into their flesh. I watched as he descended on me, his rabid teeth aiming for my neck, going for the death blow, and before it touches me, everything went black. I gasped for air as I jumped up from my bed, searching for the bedside lamp. My heartbeat calmed as I watched the calmly sleeping figure of my husband right next to me now search for me unconsciously at the spot I vacated moments before, while walling up from my nightmare. I took my pillow and guided it towards him so that he could hug it. I watched as he took a deep breath, taking in my scent on the pillow, and settled down in the sleep. My mind is not completely calm, yet there is another person I need to check on before I could rest. I walked out of my bedroom, which I share with Dimitri, to go on to Rose's room, which is right next to ours. The house is mostly silent except for Bella's heaving as she emptied her dinner out of her tummy and soothing murmurs of Philip to her. I smiled hearing it while walking into my little angel's room. Seeing her sound asleep in her crib, hugging her stuffed toy, calmed my nerve a little bit, but not enough to calm the raging ocean of thoughts and self-doubts in me. Placing a soft kiss on her golden locks, I pulled her blanket a little up so she is not exposed to the chilly air and walked out of the room, closing the doors softly behind me. Walking into our bedroom, I paused near the door for a minute, watching my sleeping husband. A lone teardrop escaped my eyes with the thought of losing my family enters my mind. After composing myself, I walked to the bed and sneaked into the blanket we shared. Suddenly, I was pulled into a tight spoon, making me yelp. Dimitri snuggled his face to the back of my neck. "What made you think a mere pillow will be able to replace your soft, warm body, my wife?" he asked with a voice thick with sleep. "You are awake," I exclaimed, and he nodded to my back in response. "When did you wake up?" "The very second you woke up, struggling for breath. Actually, I have been up all these nights watching you, having the same nightmare, going through the same routine," he told me, looking at me accusingly as I turned in his arms to face him. "I thought if I will give you time, you will come to me with what is bothering you. I can't keep silent anymore. So tell me, darling, what is it that is troubling you like this?" I hesitated a minute, contemplating whether to tell him or not, but something about the look he is giving me told me that he won't take no for an answer, so I proceeded to tell him whole gory details of my gruesome nightmare. "So you are afraid of losing me and Rose to her birth mother?" "Not exactly. Still, if you decide to choose your real mate over me, I will understand, as I knew how strong and wonderful that bond is," I added fast as I see a frown growing on his face. "But that does not mean I will let that happen without a fight. I will fight till I know she will love you and care for you more than I do, till I am sure that both of you are completely safe in her arms." I paused to kiss his forehead while he is still frowning at me. What scared me in my sleep is the red eye. It is the same eyes I saw in the nightmares after losing Mike. My mind says something bad is to happen. "You believe the red eyes are gonna try to kill us?" "Something similar, but I will never let him hurt you too," I said with determination, and he chuckled in response. "You silly girl. Come, let's sleep." Stop worrying about these stupid things. No one's gonna hurt any of us. We will find these red eyes and I will slay him right in front of your eyes so he can never come back to haunt your dreams, he said, kissing me on the forehead and tucking me under his arms. Now sleep and have sweet dreams about us and our future big family. I love you, Demetrius Ronald Williams. I love you too, Celestine Mary Lucas. Next morning I woke up feeling light and fresh after getting ready for the day and planting a soft kiss on my sleeping husband's lips, earning a small dreamy smile. I skipped down the stairs humming to myself to the kitchen to start my daily chores. Good morning guys, I greeted Phil and Bella, who are having a staring contest right this moment. Long night, huh? He is not making me waffles, Bella complained, pointing her accusing finger at her mate. I will if you take at least a bite of your eggs or bacon or toast or salad or sandwich or your pancake, Philip replied, glaring at her. It's not my fault that your child liked to change its mind every second, she said with a pout, peeking at him through her lashes, and there she got him. His eyes softened and it is filled with love for his mate and their child. He sighed and picked up the plate of eggs from her, walking towards the stove. I wonder whether Dimitri will be like this too, when I carry our child inside. Leave it there, Phil. I will make her some waffles. I am sure you have training section to attend to, I said, walking towards the stove and taking the eggs from his hands. Who looks thoroughly relieved from what I said. He nodded, eager, walked towards his mate, placing a kiss on her lips, walked out happy to escape from the kitchen. I was just serving the hot waffle to Bella with some chocolate sauce, since her craving called for some chocolate that moment, when Dimitri walked into the kitchen with a happily babbling Rose in his arms. Good morning, love. I have changed her diapers and brushed her teeth. You can feed her now, he greeted. He walked towards me and pecked my lips, handing me a squealing little girl who started chanting wapples all of a sudden. Good morning, Dee, I replied while placing Rose into her high chair. Good morning, Bella. How's my beta today? He asked half jokingly. Their night routine is familiar with everyone in the pack by now, and Philip is very grumpy these days with the lack of sleep. Good morning, Alpha. He doing very well for himself. I am the one who is hugging the toilet seats at night, she said grumpily. Dimitri looked at me helplessly, silently asking me what wrong did he said. I just shrugged as I pour a spoon of batter to the waffle maker for Rose and mouthed, pregnancy hormones, and he visibly relaxed. Okay, then you ladies have fun. I will head to see how the training is going. We got a couple of new trainees now and need to do a perimeter check as well. He kissed Rose's head, then pulled me into deeper kiss, then pulled away with a sigh and walked out of the room. Once the waffles are ready, I cut it into small pieces and drizzled it with some maple syrup and placed it in front of Rose, who bypassed the fork, picking up the piece in her hands and licking the syrup. I ruffled her hair playfully before turning towards the stove. I went near the gooey eggs to pick it up to throw it away, but the smell of the undercooked eggs made my stomach churn. I wonder how Bella held herself without throwing up when he put this in front of her. Even before I could pick up the plate, I found myself running to the nearest bathroom downstairs to empty my stomach. I bumped into someone as I ran out of the kitchen, but in the condition I am, I did not notice who it was, or I couldn't even apologize. I heard Bella's voice behind me asking me what is wrong, as I emptied the bile from my empty stomach into the closet. I heard Bella asking someone to watch over Rose, so she could see to me. That is the last thing I heard before darkness consumes me. Something cold on my face startled me. I opened my eyes to see a worried-looking Bella hovering over me with a glass of water and a wet wipe behind her. I saw Jace looking at me with concern. Are you all right? Bella asked me as she handed me the water to drink, and I nodded while hungrily gulping down the water. You shouldn't let your husband into the kitchen again. Those eggs smelled terrible, I told her, scrunching my nose. Are you sure it is the eggs? Because it smelled okay to me even though I don't dare to eat it, she said, giggling at the end. Then, why do you always make me cook every day? Philip asked as he walked in behind my husband. Are you all talking about those eggs that were sitting near the stove? Which I just ate? Looking fearful, and I and Bella nodded simultaneously. He held his tummy, started making funny faces, earning a slap on his head from Phil. Are you all right? What happened? Bella gave us quite a scare. Dimitri asked, making a beeline to me, ignoring everything else going on around us. I am all right. There was something wrong with the eggs. The smell made me vomit and I blacked out. I said, trying to reassure him. Let's go to Pack Doctor and for a checkup, he said, trying to help me up. No. I am okay. Where is Rose? She might be scared now. I asked Bella, ignoring Dimitri's protests. She is in the kitchen. I asked Susan to babysit her till we get back. Bella replied while moving towards the kitchen to get the little girl. But she was not there. We all turned to Jace as he said the word. What? It came out as a whisper as I said the words. Neither Rose or Susan were there when I went get water and wipes for Tina, he said, suspicion evident on his face now. Within a second all the three males made it to the kitchen, calling out to Rose. Without getting any reply, they extended the search to the bedrooms, upstairs rooms, game rooms, and backyard. I froze in my place, my worst nightmare coming to live in front of my eyes. Coming true. The warriors are training day and night at the pack ground like the knights preparing for the final battle, wolves sparing each other, the warriors in human forms perfecting their combat skills and weapon skills. The alphas from all the lands have come for our aid, taking their warriors with them, showing their allegiance to us, everyone wanting to end this rogue congregation once and for all. All of us were suffering because of them. We have lost our families and fellow pack members. Now that we have a chance, everyone is pitching in to have their share of revenge. But none of these calmed the raging mother wolf in me. This chaos and preparation are not filling my empty hands and hollow heart. They can be filled only when I have my child back in my arms. The heartbreaking howl erupted from my husband still haunts me day and night, ingraining the truth deep into our lives. I ran my fingers through the fur of Rose's wolf toy as I sat on the recliner in Rose's nursery where I used to cuddle with her while I rock her to sleep. My arms feel so empty now without my child. Her favorite toy is not enough to fill that void. It has been 2 weeks since that void is created, since my child is kidnapped. Each waking moment of my life is filled with thoughts of her now. If she is getting good care, feed and cleaned well, whether my child is feeling lonely, she is sleeping properly, treated properly. Sometimes I even wonder whether her birth mother felt all these anxieties when Rose was with us. Sometimes I fear that my baby will forget me, and sometimes I hope that my child is happy with her birth mother and that she will learn to love her too, because even the wildest of the creatures love their offspring. Dimitri and I haven't talked after that incident. The guilt of losing our child is eating me up. If I haven't fainted that time, none of this wouldn't have happened. I can't even face my husband after this tragedy I created for him. I can't even share the important news that I was supposed to tell me. It was supposed to bring us joy and should be acknowledged with happiness and joy by both the father and the daughter. I was startled by the loud noise of door hitting the wall. It took me a while to register that it is my door that is open now, and I am under the disapproving gaze of Soul Brother. It stings in here. You can at least keep the windows open. Jace shook his head in disapproval as he walked close to me. How long are you gonna sit here daydreaming? Go away, Jace, leave me alone. I said, looking away from him. Nope, not happening. My orders are to drag you out of the room to the bathroom and drop you into the wash tub, because no one can even come to this floor because of the foul smell from this room. When is the last time you showered? I did not bother to answer him. I closed my eyes, ignoring his, hoping he will go away. I heard his sigh and shuffle around the room. Then there is the sound of a chair being dragged and dropped near me. I am gonna sit here till you are ready to pay attention to me and get out of this room. I am in no hurry. I am not on patrol duties tonight anyway, he said, trying to get comfortable in the chair. Please let me be here, Jace. I could feel more close to her when I am here. I pleaded with him and saw his eyes soften a little. You do know this is not going to bring her back, right? All of us want her back, Tina. That is what we are all working on, but you closing down like this is not helping. When was the last time you talked to Dimitri or even let him see you? He thinks he lets you down by losing the child. What about Bella? She is pregnant, Tina, and she is guilt-tripping herself for leaving Rose with Susan, which is not good for her baby. And I feel guilty for not paying attention to my surroundings. We all feel the guilt, Tina, but shutting everyone down will not help us in this situation. The pack needs its Luna now, and the alpha needs his mate. He is taking down all the frustration onto the trainees. He is pushing us to our limits. Come out, Luna, we need you. With that being said, he stood us and after giving a gentle squeeze on my shoulder walked out of the room, leaving the door wide open. Walking out of the room was a big task for me. How will I face others? What will they say? I felt like the past is happening all over again. I felt myself slipping into something I vowed will never happen. I won't lose this time. I won't let the fate win. I will fight it because this time I am given an opportunity to fight and set things right. With this newfound determination, I walked out of the room. There are things to be done, people to meet, planning and training to be done, but before all that I need a shower. Jace is right, I stink. I need to arrange someone to clean up Rose's room for her arrival. Once cleaned up, just like in the first day in the pack, I decided to go when the sounds take me, but unlike the first day it took me to the training ground instead of the kitchen. I saw my husband's wolf barreling at his beta while the grey wolf struggled to dodge the attacks coming his way. It looks like Tristan decided to take up his frustration at Felix today. I wanted to go to him and calm him down, but not now. Felix could handle him for now. There is a more important person I need to meet now. Someone who has been with me through thick and thin, helping me through my heartbreak, helped me found a Saman's new life. I need to find my best friend. This time I decided to follow my nose to tell me where to find Bella, which was not so difficult because the only place with any trace of her smell was her bedroom. I decided to knock first, for which I did not get any reply, but I could hear her heartbeat in there and soft sniffles. The door came open when I tried the knob and I stepped in carefully. The room was dark and stuffy. I could make out Bella's figure lying on the bed facing the opposite direction. But I am sure she heard me coming in because she fell silent the moment I got into the room. I moved towards the bed and sat on the other side of the bed. I stayed there for a couple of minutes and none of us talked. When I had enough of the silence, I sighed and climbed onto the bed and lay next to her, hugged her from the back. I am sorry, Bells, I whispered to her, and that is whole it took for her to turn around and hug me, letting her waterworks started. We stayed like this for a few minutes before we pull away. I am so sorry, Tina. Am sorry for leaving Rose with Susan. I am sorry for causing you more pain, she said, while trying to control her sobs. Don't be silly, Bella, it's not your fault. None of us suspected her to be the traitor. We have left Rose alone with her multiple times, but this was just the wrong timing. I would have done the same if you were the come running to the scene. Bathroom, I said, trying to console her, and I know it to be true. Come on, let's get you cleaned up. It's not healthy for the baby to be unclean like this when you are pregnant. When was the last time you showered? God, this room is so smelly. I am going to open the windows and let some air in while you get up and clean yourself. Now chop chop, I said, while pulling up a reluctant Bella out of the bed, who mocked me and walked to the bathroom. Laughing, I started to clean their room. By the time of us are done, we started to get hungry and decided to grab something to eat before we meet up our husbands and make peace with them. Let's cook for the guys as well. They are done with the training, it seems, Bella said as we gathered the ingredients to cook up some pasta. How do you know? I wondered out to her. Phil's mental wall is down. He always had it up these days, while training, since the training had turned more. She paused as if searching for a neutral word. Intensive now. Dimitri had his mental walls up all the time ever since Rose is kidnapped, so I don't even know how much it is eating him up. I sighed, thinking about the times I tried to reach him. So do you, Tina? Both of you shut out everyone once after Rose went missing. I understand how important Rose is to you, to both of you. With this little one on the way, I can connect with your motherly instinct more deeply, she said while softly rubbing her non-existing belly. She is still in her first trimester, and yet to start showing, but just don't make her the only thing about life. I agree. You came to this pack because of the deep connection you felt for Rose. Even your marriage to Dimitri was solely based on the child, but now there is more to it. You have a pack that looks up to you, a husband who shares his soul with you. Shutting everyone out is not the best solution for anything. Do you think that Rose will appreciate it if her parents are separated by the time she gets home? I did not know what else to do. Bella, she was my anchor and my sanity. With her gone, I felt I am losing myself again. I felt guilty. I felt she was missing because of me. I couldn't face anyone. I couldn't face Dimitri. I feared the judging looks, especially when. Wow, it smells heavenly in here. I was interrupted by the excited voice of Jace as he walked into the kitchen after Dimitri and Philip. It's cheesy and creamy and mouth-watering, and it's pasta, he announced the obvious by sniffing around and coming near the stove. I felt Bella move from my side towards Philip and hugging him, trying to make peace with him. I did not push Jace away from sneaking a fried chicken piece, or I turned towards the couple to acknowledge them. I was caught in the intense stare of a pair of emerald green eyes identical to the one I was crying over. I just stood there taking in every detail of him. He looks tough with all these trainings, but tired as well, with dark circles nurturing a thick beard as old as the time our child is kidnapped. I have missed him as much as I missed my little girl. I was not sure what to tell, how to start. I was in lieu of words in front of him. Should I say sorry? Should I ask him how he is doing? Can I hug him? While lost in these thoughts, I did not register the fact that Dimitri is now only inches away from me. He is studying me just like the way I studied him. Before I could open my mouth, I was engulfed in the bare hug of my husband. I could feel tears filling in my eyes, but I was stubborn not to give in to the weakness. I was stubborn until I felt the warm tears on my shoulder. The tears of the alpha was enough to break the dam inside me. We cried in each other's arms like babies. We cried for us, and we cried for our child. I'm sorry, my love, for letting you down. I have promised to you that I will never let anything happen to our child, but I couldn't keep it. I was so ashamed to show my face to you, he said. Once we are both calmed down while sitting on the kitchen floor, our friend left us there, and the stove off. It is not your fault, dear. It is all our faults. We did not see it coming. We trusted her. Jace is right. Crying over her will not bring back our child. We have to fight and find him, I told him, feeling a newfound determination in me. Life taught me a new lesson today, that tears are not a sign of our weakness. It is the sign of strength, sign of our fight we fought in our life. The doors to the burst open while we are having our lunch. All the three males jumped to fighting stance, but the pack warrior who burst inside was not looking for a fight but came with the news we found Susan. Those words are enough to make us all to bolt out of the door, but we froze at the next sentence. He said, "We found Susan's dead body." I ran through the forest floors with her in my arms, ignoring the sharp twigs and throbs cutting and hitting me. I have managed to change her blood-soaked dress before we sneak out from there. My only aim is to make her safe, and there is only one place that ensures it. We are on our way to there, but the time is very limited. They will track us down any minute. It took me hours to calm down her hysteric fits. I won't forgive myself for making my child witness something horrific, as what happened there. I can't believe I was so blind till now. All I wanted was a happy life and a loving family, but I made all the wrong choices. You reap what you sow. That is what the terrifying sight of Susan's mutilated, frozen body told me. After the treason she had done to the pack, even her parents did not want to own up her body or give her a proper burial, but as the Alpha and Luna of the pack, it is our duty to make sure that every soul reaches to the moon safely. We buried her, did all the rituals for her soul that her blood relatives refused to do, because for Alpha is the father of not only his family but to the whole pack, and Luna is the mother to all pack members. A weapon killed her, not the wolf. The claw marks are given to her after the death, Dr. Stevens said as he walked into the Alpha's office, where we are all gathered to discuss the facts. The room so crowded. Dimitri, Philip and Ethan wouldn't let me, Bella and Olivia, out of their sight. Then we have our Delta Jace, my brothers Christabel and Callahan, Alpha James from Blood Moon Pack and Alpha Jared from Red Crescent Pack, Alice's pack. It was a clean cut on her neck and they let her bleed out before throwing her to dogs. Yes, dogs, not wolves. It's not wolves but dog bite marks, and those things are rabid. I have prescribed anti-rabies injection for everyone who came into contact with the corpse, Stephen continued, and she was dead for around 2 weeks before she was left at the borders for us to find. They probably froze her body after the dogs had their round with her. That means they have killed her right after she delivered Rose to them. Jace spoke out loud, the thoughts running through all our heads. But why now? Why did they wait till now to leave her body here? Bella asked. To no one in particular. It might be a sign to show us that they are ready for us, to instill some fear into our warriors, or... Dimitri started. Or something might have happened that they did not expect and they think it is our doing. I completed for him. Is that a good thing or bad thing? Olivia asked. We cannot say yet. If whatever happened made our child safe, then it is a good thing, or else. I squeezed Dimitri's hand, stopping him from completing the sentence. I saw Olivia hugging Emily tightly to her and Bella placing a protective hand over her pregnant belly, trying to keep away all these bad and terrifying news from their babies. It broke me to think that my child is living this nightmare somewhere outside in the wild. This also means we can expect them to attack us anytime. Christabel said we better get our troops ready. Already done. The troops are alerted, they are ready and waiting for the first strike, Jace said. Dimitri, you need to tell us everything you know about Rosalind's mother. It might be difficult for you too, but it is a necessity in this situation. Alpha Jared said while Dimitri looked at me with unease. So far you just told us you met her in a pub and got her pregnant, commanded her into staying here till the child was born and was 6 months old. Well, that is all that is there to tell. Well, her name is Shelley, or that was what her friends were calling her. She never mentioned her name to us, so we just called her what her friend was calling her and she did not object. She never talked anything about her past, or her old pack. We were not really in good terms while she was here. We tried to track down the rogue group she was with, but that was a small group of youth, 5 or 6 of them, all of them around the age of 20 to 25 that time. Most of them were mated pairs. The leader seemed the oldest and he was her boyfriend, and he doesn't look like he is mated. They stick around till Shelley's orders are lifted, and once she left from here the whole group vanished, and after around 1.5 years later we got the first correspondence from them on my birthday. Dimitri said, trying to sound as if it is not affecting him to talk about the dark times of his life, but his death grip on my hands told a different story to me. So you don't know anything about the group after she left? Callahan inquired. No, we tried to track them down for some time when Rose was having a hard time adjust with us. I don't know what I was thinking might be to talk to her and somehow make her see reason and stay here for the child, at least till the baby can survive on her own. But we could not find any trace of them. It was as if they have vanished into thin air. Might they have been building their strength at that time, recruiting, training, planning? Jace muttered while lost in thoughts. A loud knock on the door startled all of us. Whoever interrupted us doesn't wait for any permission to open the door, and a warrior from Blood Moon Pack walked in. Alpha, a female rogue, has entered the territory. She is caught and taken into the grounds. She demands to meet you, he said, facing Dimitri and me. Okay. We will be down there shortly. Meanwhile, do a perimeter check, scout every inch of the land, make sure it's not a decoy or trap. Dimitri instructed the Alpha. Yes, Alpha. We had a team doing the perimeter check already. He turned to walk out but hesitated and turned to face us again. She said, it's urgent, Alpha, and also your pack seems to know her already. They might attack her any minute. If you don't hurry up, we might be able to know what she has to say. And she smells strongly of rose flower. What we all shouted at the same time and sprung to action. We ran downstairs, racing each other. The moment we stepped out of the house, we were hit by the disgusting smell of rogue female mixed with the sweet scent of Rose. It means she has been with Rose, and she is one of them. There is something very familiar about this girl. I can't pinpoint what it is. I heard Dimitri gasp beside me and watched him move forward like in a trance towards her. Is that her? River asked me. I don't know. But something about her is very familiar to me, I told her. I felt the same way too, she replied, sounding confused. Shelley. I heard my husband whisper his ex-mate's name. Looking at this female rogue, I felt like my nightmare is coming true. Am I gonna lose my happily ever after again? At least this time I have a gift within me, something worth living on. Where is my daughter, Rogue? I was startled by the roar. Came from my husband within a matter of seconds. Dimitri is on her, is choking her, his claws showing its presence, which is very rare for a well-controlled wolf like Tristan. You should go to him before Tristan kills Shelley, Jace said, pushing me towards the pair. She is here for a reason which we want to know desperately. But I am not his fate mate. I don't know whether River will be able to calm Tristan in this situation. I stumbled while he keeps pushing me forward. Only you can calm them right now, he said, giving me a final push. Standing next to the struggling pair, I placed my hands on Dimitri's shoulder in an attempt to calm him. Let her go, Tristan, we need her to learn where our child is. We can find her on our own, it will be better if I just kill this filthy wolf right now, he growled out. No, we can't, Tristan, Dimitri's will never forgive you if you kill her now. We need her to lead us to Rose, I said, trying to reason with the angry wolf. I felt his breathing calming down to normal and slowly he released the she-wolf. Thank you, Rose. Rosa is safe. She managed to choke out while struggling to breathe. Are you another messenger? We are not in a mood to entertain another messenger now. I told her, feeling impatient myself. We don't have time for these kinds of dramas. For all we know, this could be a trap. No. Am not a messenger. I am sorry. All this is happening just because of me and my selfishness. I just wanted my child with me, but I never knew he had other intentions. I realized that only after he killed that girl. Give who take Rose to us from here, she said, hanging her head down in shame. You looks familiar to me. Have we met before? I asked, trying to get rid of the uneasiness I'm feeling in her presence. You don't remember me, don't you? She asked in a mixture of surprise and disappointment. No, I don't. Chelsea. I heard Bella whisper from behind me, and suddenly I felt like I have seen a ghost. Recognition dawned on all lunar spirit wolves. They suddenly surrounded, their teeth baring and ready to attack. I watched her carefully. That old beauty, so determined to get what she wants, is gone. Her eyes are sunken now, the skin is dirty and hair is sticky and greasy. Is this some kind of wicked game of fate that makes our love life paths cross like this every time? I turned to Dimitri, who is watching at all these commotions in surprise. Is this your mate? I wanted him to deny. I did not want that wicked fate to win. But he nodded, yes, and I took a deep breath. Oh God. How can fate be so cruel? I heard Bella's teary whisper from his position near her mate. Do you know her? Dimitri asked while he put her arms around my shoulder, supporting me to stand. I tried to kill her before leaving my old pack. Chelsea confessed in a weak voice. I heard Dimitri take a sharp breath and his hold on me tighten, positioning himself slightly in front of me. So is she that girl you told me about, one who attacked you and escaped during the rogue attack? I could only nod no. Sound was coming out of my mouth. It was like a movie reeling through my mind, all those dark days and memories. I could hear wolves growling all around me. I tried hard to cast away the terrors and concentrate on what is in front of us now. If I don't, these angry wolves were tearing her apart. When I couldn't find my mate after turning 18, I started to panic. I thought Goddess might not have created one for me. When one by one all my friends found their mates, a desperation started to settle in, and I started to find my solace in drinking and clubbing. One day I ran into a rogue there at the club. I was thoroughly drunk and I poured my heart out to him. He stayed and listened to me. After a long time I felt like I am important. We became friends and we stayed in touch through calls and text. It is him who brought my attention to Mike that time. He haven't found his mate either. He told me that we have the option to choose our mates. Since both me and Michael are mateless, we could choose each other by saying that he was igniting a flame inside me, an old flame of a childhood crush. Both I and Dimitri let out a growl at that, both for the same reason but for different people, a sign that traces of what the goddess has created still remains within us. Chelsea gave us a sad smile and continued with her story. Little by little, day after day, this guy built my crush on Michael to a maniac level. For me, Michael was my mate, someone I couldn't live without. That is when I gathered the courage to confront him at the gym room that day when you find us. And after 2 days, I heard the news that Michael found his mate, Alpha's daughter. I went to my friend for consolation. We met at the local club where we first met. One thing led to another and we spent that night together. We kept meeting each other like that the following years. All that time he kept feeding my brain that Mike took you as his mate just because you are Alpha's daughter. I was turning more and more insane day after day. We started plotting your death, then it was my need to eliminate you to get my Mike back. I gave him details about our pack route maps, escape routes, accident area, your favorite hangouts, everything. That day of accident everything went as we have planned. A group of his friends managed to distract your brothers and the patrol team while we waited for you two near that tree where you guys hang out a lot. I heard both Cal and Abel growl at that. She ignored them and continued with the story. When we saw you guys approaching, my friend shifted and jumped in front of the car, make Mike swerve off the road where another of our guy was waiting with iron road with silver coated to end your life. Everything went as planned. The only thing we did not consider is Mike jumping in front of you, making himself your human shield. I saw him died with my own eyes. He saw me there, staring at him in shock, and he managed to stay alive till he was sure we are to leave the site. I saw him close his eyes, give up to fate, while the guys dragged me out of there. Before she could finish, I pounced upon her, ready to tear her apart. It took both my brothers and Dimitri to drag me away from her. When I came here tonight, I expect nothing other than death. You can either be merciful and give me a quick painless death, or you can torture. Even to death, it is just your choice to make. But first I want to finish this story, she said. Look me in my eyes. After witnessing his death, I completely lost it. If I was mad with love previously, now I want mad with revenge. My own mind told me it is you who killed Mike. That is why I confronted you one that day at the garden. I was waiting for a very long time to get to alone. It was my friends that attacked our pack that day. Their aim was to free me from jail. We became traveling nomads once after our escape. Meantime, we were plotting for a bigger revenge for the friends we lost. That is how we came to Shadow Knight territory. But at that time I started to date my old friend. Then she looked at Dimitri in his eyes. I felt like she is going to tell something she never told anyone before. When you found me there at the club, I fell in love instantly. I was the happiest girl alive. After spending that night with you, I dreamed about a beautiful life with you and lots of kids. Waking up in the morning, first thing I did was calling my friend, giving him the happy news. But he was not that happy with the news. He reminded me of our plans and asked me to come out of it. He managed to wake up the insane person in me. Even when I was staying at the pack, we were in touch. When it was time for me to leave, he promised me he will help me to get my child back. I believed him everything he said until the day Rose came to us. When he killed the girl who brought Rose to us, she wanted me to come back to the pack and be the Luna. That is when he revealed that his true intention is to weaken Dimitri by taking away what is valuable to you, your fate mate, and your child, to attack you and defeat you. I escaped from there with Rose 2 days before at the first chance I got. Where is my child then? You said she is safe, but I couldn't see her with you. I asked her, eyeing her with suspicion. I went to the Lunar Spirit Pack first and left Rose there with the Luna. She is on her way here with the child. I did not want to take the risk of losing her in case the rogues were here when I arrive. Abel, call mom and confirm. I told my elder brother, who already has his phone in his hands, and dial it. The call is not getting connected. My phone is not showing any signal either, said Callahan. Mine neither. That is because they have jammed all the signals to isolate you guys. That means they are ready to strike, she said with terror in her voice. So are we, we said with confidence. At that moment, a painful howl of a wolf erupted from our southern borders. The combat team shifted and raced towards the direction from where the cry was heard. Dimitri and Jace took the lead while Philip and Ethan moved the ladies and kids to safe house. A group of soldiers stayed with them to help. I ran with the Dimitri and the weapon team, who will be fighting in human forms. I can't risk shifting, and I can't stay home either. It is my daughter whose life is in stake. We are leaving a team of fighter at home to safeguard the pack house and those who cannot fight. All the youngster above 13 are trained and given a weapon to safeguard themselves and those around them. We are not taking a risk of leaving our people unprotected in case this is a trap to drive us away. Why are you not shifting? I heard Tristan growl in my ears. My human is as strong as the wolf herself, and I am good with weapons too, I replied back, dodging a log on the way without slowing down. It's dangerous. Either you fight my side as a wolf or you go home and keep watch. Tristan tried to order with alpha tone. You can't command me, Tristan. I am your Luna. We hold the same power, I said with a smirk on the face. It is about my daughter. I won't sit home and relax when my family is fighting out here. I said with a finality in my voice. I saw Tristan shake his head in disapproval, but he kept running and did not say anything further. As we approached the southern perimeters, disgusting smell of rogues and blood started polluting the air. We all were acutely aware of the eyes that are following us through the trees, so they have climbers within them. Maybe it is one of the ways they come in. It was clear that by the time we reached the borders we will be surrounded from all the sides, but we kept moving. If this is their strategy, then we have our own strategy. We came to stop in front of the ugliest wolf we have ever laid eyes on. Sure, he is a big fellow and does work out his share of workout. He looks strong, but with the missing patches of fur and with all those scars he looks like a rabid giant street dog. One of our pack patrol team member withered in pain under his paws. Most of the team is captured and tied down. Seems like you have already met our little traitor, he said as soon as he shifted back to his human form. Come on, girlie. You really thought he will take you back if you just go and tell on us? See the way he is guarding his wife. He wouldn't give a shit even if I kill you. No, Orlando, you have destroyed my life enough. I won't let you do that to my child, even if that cost me my life. Chelsea yelled back to him. Wow, that came out too strong, sweetheart. I didn't know this little weasel meant this much to you, he said, pointing to a guy standing unnoticed to the side holding a bundle. He removed the clothes to show us an unconscious Rose. Rose. We all shouted at once and made a move towards her. Suddenly, the guy threw her blindly towards their leader. We all screamed, thinking this is it, but the guy caught her with ease and held her over his head in a single hand like holding a doll. Dimitri, she is not moving. I can't find my voice. All I can do is a whisper. She is just sedated. She was so loud, screaming and drooling, it was nasty. We did not want to lose this surprise for you guys, so we just sedated her, Orlando said as if he is sharing a joke or something. And oh yeah, Celestina, your mother has a bad concussion. It seems we would have finished her off, relieving her of all the pains, but the old hag contacted the pack when we attacked and they did not let us finish the business. I saw my dad and brothers visibly relaxing on hearing it, but I can't relax yet. My child is still unconscious in some maniac's hands. Hand over our pup, Orlando. Tristan's voice rang out over the clearing. I looked over to see Dimitri struggling hard to keep Tristan in check. If he takes over and attacks, we can never be sure of Rose's safety. We have to get her out of here before the ambush starts. Oh. The alpha wolf, angry. Here is the deal, Mutt. You want your child, then you give me your wife. Simple as that. She is not even your mate anyway. Little Shelley here will happily take over her position. As soon as the disgusting words are out of his mouth, I grabbed Dimitri's hands to stop him from pouncing on that psycho. As if enjoying the show, he just continued to taunt us. You know, sweetheart, I have been watching you for a long time, you and the beta pup. I often saw you hanging around that stupid tree. You might be young, but so beautiful, just like my Jenny. Oh, that's my ex-mate. Poor thing, she has to be sacrificed for a more bigger cause. Anyway, let me continue. Watching you two together, it is easy to read that you two are going to be mates, but you were so good for him. Your strength, your agility, your sharpness, and your alpha blood. I knew you were going to be special. I never expected a white wolf though, but I knew she is a very strong one. You needed a man, not a boy. We could produce really strong pups together, but I needed that boy out of the picture. So I went ahead and sorted out our Chelsea here, poor, lonely, mateless, with a strong crush on the lover boy. She was my perfect choice. I talked to her, brainwashed her to think she is perfect for him. But I made a little mistake in the hurry by forcing her to confront him so early, and my whole plan went upside down. But you can't blame me though, cause you were turning 13 that week and for sure you guys are going to recognize each other. I was so angry and frustrated when it all turned wrong. Now I have to wait again for God knows how long to have you. I took my frustration on this little girl here. She was a good street reliever, if you know what I mean. I saw Chelsea cringe at his words, trying to pull herself in more. Somewhere inside, I felt sorry for her. She has become a part of a maniac's evil plan, unknowingly. This is what you get for trusting a stranger. Then we have to wait and wait for more than 3 years to get you two alone without the secret guards both your fathers sets on you. I was quite surprised by those words. Guards, I exclaimed, looking over to my dad. We have to make sure you two are safe. We were getting traces of rogue scents everywhere you two went, but later Mike found out and he did not want you guys to be followed on your date, so he made us withdraw the guards. It is a decision I regret whole my life, Dad said with his head hung low. Well, that was a bad deal decision for you, but a good opportunity for us. You know, I am so good at playing a good Samaritan to those who want to talk. I am all ears, and some of your people like to babble a lot. So when we know about that, we set up the plans for the takedown. Again, everything went well, from distracting the patrol teams to crashing the car to the specially made metal rod to your precious mate's heart. Don't worry, that rod was never intended for you, sweetie. That was a little white lie for our Chelly here. But that little beta mutt contacted his family because we could take him down, and we ran out of time to get you out of the car. We have to run. When your brothers came and took you away from me again, I could feel hot tears flowing down my sainy cheeks. Mike is dead only because of me, because of a maniac with the crazy ideas. He could have been safe and happy alive with his family if he was mated to someone else. He will be able to have the big family he always dreamed about. All his dreams were taken away from him because of me, because I was his mate. I felt a cool breeze touching me, a soothing touch to relax me. It surrounded me like the gentle touch of a baby. It was as if Mike is there telling me to be strong to avenge his death. Then I felt Dimitri's warm hands around me, supporting me with the support of my mate and my husband. I felt strong, and now I want blood. I want him dead before he could take any more lives. Without realizing my inner turmoil, he kept boasting about his grand ideas. Then there was the attack at your pack. It is me who told Chelly to confront you. My idea was to rescue you from her, get rid of her, and be your hero. But again your brother interrupted, he said, giving Callahan an evil eye. Again, that ambush at your pack. I know you wouldn't be able to stay in the safe house while the pack fight. No white wolf will be able to do that. Again, your elder brother interrupted, and we had to rescue her to look like it was a rescue mission. But successfully she got kicked out of the pack, and I lost the only inside person in the pack. Then again I waited till the perfect opportunity. Meantime Chelly met Dimitri, and she wanted to leave all these behind, but I can't lose a member. Luckily she was stupid enough to believe anything I say, so I managed to lure her out. Again. I looked over to Chelsea to find her shaking with tears. I truly felt sorry for her. I moved away from Dimitri's protective embrace and went to hold the female in front of me. She has been fooled her whole life, paying for mistakes someone else made. She looked at me in tears and whispered a sorry to me. I just stood there. I hold her tight. Awi. What a moment. You should know she really wanted you dead. But anyway, the opportunity struck again when you met Dimitri and Rose. Poor Chelly here wanted her baby back. She was not ready to let them go when she found out that she is being replaced so easily. I just have to play along, but she wanted to stop all this again when she gets the girl, but that I cannot allow cause I haven't got what I really wanted. Then she ran away with the baby. Stupid girl, she really thought I will not tag her. It was easy to track her down to lunar spirit territory and then here. Now, since we are all here, and the story is over, I hope we can all make the right decision to avoid more bloodsheds. Just hand over the Luna. I will your child, and you can have a wonderful life with your child and mate. And I can have strong puppies with this little wolfie. What you say? He asked Dimitri, showing her yellow teeth. I will come with you, but first hand over the child to her father. I told him before anyone could even move a finger. Tina, everyone shouted at once. No. I felt Chelsea's fingers lacing into mine, holding me in position. I hope you have a plan. She murmured low so only the two of us can hear, and I give her a slight nod. But the truth is that I don't. I just want to get my child far away from this maniac and avoid any further bloodsheds. No more blood should be shed on my name. A deadly silence fell over the clearing. Even the wind stopped moving and the leaves stood still. Orlando looked at me like I have grown a second head. Seems like he never expected me to give in so easily. He is a maniac thirsty for blood. I was just an excuse for him to shed more blood. I watched him thinking it over in his head, then slowly an evil smile grew on his face with his yellow decaying teeth showing. Is this your trap, princess? Be careful of what you are planning on, sweetie, because one wrong move and this little brat here will be dead, he said, mocking me. No foul play from me. Orlando, I will come to your side as soon as you hand over Rosalind to her father. That wolves will have me dead before you come here. So here is the deal. Make whole your army, move out of the clearing and face their back to us, then you and that clingy girl you are holding now come over here. She can collect the child and walk away, leaving you with me. What do you say? Agreed. I will ask the troop to move out. With that I turned around and faced my family, my father, my brothers, my friends, and my husband. I know this is a suicidal mission, but this is the only choice in front of me to avoid further bloodshed. I walked towards my father first, standing in front of him. I couldn't find any words to tell him. I know I am doing this for my daughter, but by doing that I am taking away his daughter from him. We just stared at each other for a few seconds. I can see his eyes screaming at me to not to do this, but his heart knew there is nothing that is going to stop me from doing this. We hugged and he kissed my forehead before letting me go. Whispered to me, "It's not your fault, sweetie, we will be right behind you. Keep everyone safe, Daddy. Take care of Mom, she needs you now." With that we let each other go. Next was my brother's turn. Abel and Cal stood side by side with fire in their eyes. "You are stupid, River. Don't do this." I heard Rock Cal's wolf growling at us and noticed to see that both my brothers are struggling to keep their wolves down. It's not just us the humans, but the wolves are attached to each other. We need to do this. I know I am hurting all of you by doing this, but I believe if Goddess has a plan for me in this life, it is this one. I will lead this group away from our territories and make sure they will stay away from our packs. If at any time they came for us, don't hesitate to finish them off. I told them before pulling both of them to a big hug. We love you, sis, and no matter what you say, we will be right behind you on the rescue mission. We know you can keep yourself safe till we come. Abel murmured to me before letting me go, making sure only we three hear it. Walking towards my husband, I could feel the guilt weighing me down. I am taking a massive risk here, breaking all the promises I ever made to him. I couldn't bring myself to look into his eyes. I just stood in front of him, my head bowed. In shame. I felt his fingers softly touching my cheeks, willing me to look up into his eyes. We did not utter a word, just stared at each other. Everything we want to tell was conveyed in that our love, our life. Tell her I will always love her. I managed to tell him and walked away when I see the first drop of tears escape his eyes. I bid my goodbye to my pack and walked back to Chelsea. Come on, let's go. Walk away as soon as you have Rose in your arms. Don't hesitate even for a second. Keep her safe, love her, she is a gem. My legs felt weak as I walked towards my own death. Orlando gave me an evil smile, showing his disgusting yellow teeth. I diverted my eyes from him, fearing I will give up on this mission. Rather, I looked at who really matters. I watched my little angel sleeping peacefully in his arms, oblivious to all the chaos going on around her. I want to watch her grow up. I want to be with her for her first day at school. I want to be by her side when she shifts for the first time, when she finds her mate, when she goes for her first date. I want to do a lot of things along with her, but now it is all going to remain a dream. I don't know if she will remember me, she too young to remember all this, but she will always my eldest daughter wherever I will be. As we reached the threshold, Orlando came forward alone, carrying Rose in his arms. I flinched back when he made a move to touch me. Hand over Rose to Chelsea. You can touch me only after they make it back safely to the troop, I said, moving a further away from him, trying to escape his nasty smell. Haha. Stubborn girl. I like this about you always. I have waited for you this long. I don't mind waiting a few more minutes, and believe me, I want to do more than just touching you, girl. You are gonna have sore and tiring days ahead, he said, running his eyes all over my body. Oh Chelly, dear. We are gonna miss you so much. Are you sure you want to go back to your stupid mate? 3 of us can have a lot of fun here, he said, trying to touch her cheeks, and she moved away from his reach. Shut up, Orlando. Give me my daughter, Chelsea told him, glaring at him, and he complied. I couldn't resist myself from going to my child. I wanted to give her a final hug. I hugged her tight, taking in her sweet scent, enjoying her warmth for the last time. Reluctantly, I let go of her and tried to step back, but something stopped me. I looked down to see Chelsea holding tightly to my hands. Run, she whispered. What I voiced my confusion. Take the child and run to safety. She needs you, not me. You make a better mother than I will ever be. I will hold him back to give you a head start. She said hurriedly to me when I just stood there dumbfounded. She pivoted ourselves in opposite directions and pushed me to safety. Before I could command my legs to move, she shifted into her mud-brown wolf and jumped onto Orlando. I watched in horror as Orlando, who smells the foul play and shifted to his wolf, caught her by the neck and throw her away. My foot stayed rooted to the ground as I watched Chelsea fly and hit the nearby tree. I cringed at the sound of her bone breaking. I know I should be running to safety now, back to my pack and family, but my legs refused to take the signal. I watched in horror as Orlando's filthy wolf jumped towards us. I cocooned, Rose wrapping my arms around her body, closing my eyes and my back facing the attacker. A step every warrior is warned not to do. Don't turn your back on your enemy. As I am doing it, I cursed the warrior in me who abandoned me at this much needed time. I cursed the fear that is coursing through me right now. I waited for the impact to come, to be thrown away like Chelsea was thrown, but nothing came. I heard a thud, then breaking of bones and a painful howl of a wolf, followed by the angry howl of an alpha. I opened my eyes to see the massive black beast of Dimitri standing over a motionless, filthy wolf. Within seconds, chaos broke out. The pack wolves attacked the rogues from all sides. Some of them tried to fight back. Some just flew the scene. Some surrendered when the warriors got close to them without their leader. They are all running around like kids. I was brought back from shock when I felt something warm on my shoulder. I looked up to see Tristan staring at me. Once he saw that I am responding, he started to lick Rose, who is in my arms. Then it suddenly occurred to me, Dimitri, Chelsea. I ran over to the tree she hit, and there I saw her on the ground in her human form, bleeding and barely moving, but eyes open and conscious. I passed Rose over to Dimitri, who already shifted and by my side now. Dimitri, she is barely breathing. We need to get her to pack doctor now. I yelled to him, already crying, while I cradled Chelsea's head on my lap while trying to check her pulse. Stop fussing, Luna. It's okay. I know what I am going to get when I started messing with him. It's a miracle till I lasted this long, she said, vainly trying to push at my hands. How's Rose? She is all right. Her breathing is normal and heartbeat steady. She is just sleeping, Dimitri said while coming forward with Rose in his hands to show her to Chelsea. Good, she said, while coughing up some blood. Why did you do that, Chelsea? I asked while trying to control my tears and failing. I did what is best for my daughter. She needs a mother like you, not me. She stopped for a moment to catch her breath. Take care of her, Celestine. Promise me that you will. I will always. You need not worry about any of that right now, and stop talking like that. Pack doctor is on his way. He is going to save you, I said, trying to shush her. She chuckled in response. If it's not too much. Please tell her that I loved her so much. I nodded my head in tears and when you think the time is right, give her this chain, a little something from me. Need not say who it is from, but just give her, she said, while giving me a sterling silver necklace I saw previously around her neck. It has a clover as its pendant with an emerald at the center. I will tell her that she is so loved by her mother. She will know about you while she grows up and about the big sacrifice you did for us, I told her while giving a light squeeze on her hands. Then she coughed up some more blood, which I swiped with my shirt sleeves. You shouldn't get blood on your sleeves, she said in a scolding tone and chuckled, then turned to Dimitri. Can I touch her for the last time? She asked in a pleading tone. He took Rose close to her so that she could give her daughter a final kiss once after she laid there with a peaceful smile on her face as we watched the life slipping away from her eyes. We did not get much time mourn for her loss, because by that time Rose was starting to wake up from her slumber and we wanted to take her far away from the bloody scene. All the fight have come to an end and the prisoners are being moved to the cell for holding and interrogation. We should get going, sweetheart. Rose is waking up. Dimitri informed me as he hands over Rose to the waiting arms of Jace, but I feel reluctant to let go of Chelsea. Let go, dear, they will bring her into the pack. With that, he slightly pulled me away from Chelsea's body and helped me walk over to the pack house. By the time we get home, Rose was fully awake and panicking. We had to take her down to doctors to make sure she is not hurting. He said she is just traumatized by all the events happened and will be okay in some days. And since she is too young, she will not remember anything that happened, relieving us from the great fear that she will be traumatized for the rest of her life. Once bathed and fed, me and Bella are in Rose's room, trying to cheer her up when Dimitri and Phil walked in. Philip made a beeline to his wife, wrapping her arms around her and kissing her. It was lots of hard work today, you should get some rest now, my love, he said to her, and before she could protest he continued, Dimitri will help Tina. She looked at me and gave her a go-ahead head signal. And Tina? Your father called, your mother is fine, just a bit tired, he said before walking out, and I nodded with a smile. When they are gone, Dimitri came close to us and picked up Rose, hugging her tightly, taking in her sweet scent. When are you going to tell me, Tina? What, I asked him, confused. When are you planning to tell me? I wanted to tell you both together. I wanted this to be happy news for our whole family to rejoice. I want Rose to know first that she is going to be a big sister, I told him, almost at the verge of tears. What were you thinking when you agreed to go with him? I could hear underlying anger in his words. He is holding it in for the sake of Rose. I was not thinking anything other than getting Rose away from him at that moment. I thought of no one or even myself, I said while tears start to trickle down my chin. He did not say anything else but opened her arms for me to join the group hug. The family hug. And once again we are complete now, we are all home again. I am never good at goodbyes, goodbyes always made me cry. When I was a kid, everyone around here was afraid to say the word around me as I will burst into tears hearing it. But now it is my time to say goodbye, goodbye to everyone and everything I know while growing up. Mama said, saying goodbye is a part of our life we need to embrace. She said she wants me to have wings and fly high, and she does not want me to be stuck forever in our small town. It was with her persuasion Dad gave me permission to leave the pack temporarily and join the new pack with a better medical university. Yes, I am a healer and I am going to start my training at Red Crescent Pack, which is my Aunt Alice's pack. They have a wonderful medical university and most experienced healers. Growing up, I know I am not an alpha material. I had more fun at the pack hospital with Uncle Stephen than at the pack meetings. Mama's theory is that my phobia to goodbyes is rooted in my instincts as a healer. As a healer, never want to lose any of their subjects. My brother Dylan is getting trained as an alpha now. He is 2 years younger than me. We are a fairly big family. I have 5 siblings. Dylan is the second eldest, then came Jocelyn 2 years later, then the twins Luke and Alexis, and after a long distance of 10 years now we have our baby brother Michael. Luke and Alexis are named after Mama's parents and Mikey after Mama's first mate. It was our dad who insisted on naming him Michael. He said the original Michael is a hero, and this is a way to honor him. Our little Mikey is just 2 years now and I, the eldest one, is 18. Well, this is what they call life. If you are wondering, I know I am not related to my mama by blood, but we have an even stronger bond. When I was around 8, sometimes after the twins were born, my parents had a handful with them and 2-year-old Jose that they couldn't pay much attention to the eldest two. Then one day one of the pack kids made fun of me and taunted me, saying I am not my mama's daughter. I was devastated and ran to my dad in tears. Then both of them made me sit down and tell me a story. A story on how my birth mother was brainwashed by a psychopath and how Mama came to our life, then the kidnapping, and how my birth mother sacrificed her life to save me. They told me that my birth mother loved me. At first I did not believe them, but they stayed by me, helped me understand, explained my confusion and my doubts, and at last when I was ready they together took me to my mother's grave. Are you done packing, Rose, or are you still daydreaming? Mama asked as she walked into my room with Mike on her hips. Almost done, Mama, I told her while trying to close one of my overstuffed suitcases. You won't be able to close that. Take some out and put it on the other case. Here, let me arrange. You hold Mike for a sec, she said, handing me a giggling Mike. I tickled him, making him laugh more. God, I am gonna miss his laughs so much. I am gonna miss out a lot on his childhood, I said, the sad thoughts coming up as the time for the farewell drew closer. You are not Rosie. We will send you his videos all the time and you can Skype with us. Also, you are not going to the end of the world. You can visit anytime you want, she said as she stopped the packing to come closer to me and cup my face in her hands. You are not going away, my child. We all will be together all the time. Now all your bags are packed. I will tell Dylan and Robert to come and help you to take your bags downstairs, she said as she took Mike from my hands and walked out of the room as if she is on fire so that I won't see her tears, but she is too late. I already saw them. If you are wondering who Robert is, he is Uncle Phil and Aunt Bella firstborn and our future beta. He is the same age as of Dylan. They also have a set of twin girls younger to Robert, Rhea and Mia, who are 13 now. And Uncle Jace found his mate when I was around 5. She is a total hippie with magenta and purple colored hair. She is the most fun aunt to be with, a little crazy up there, the perfect match for Uncle Jace. They are blessed with a set of triplets 2 years after they met Adam, Beatrix and Cassandra. They are 10 years now. Uncle Ethan and Aunt Olivia had a baby boy William when Emily was 2 and another baby girl Sarah 3 years later. Hey sis, Dylan greeted me as he walked into my room along with Robert, who just waved at me as he is a person of fewer words. Mom spent us to help you with the bags, is that all, he asked, pointing to my luggage. Yep, I said, avoiding to say anything more, trying to hide the tears that are ready to escape my eyes. Okay. We will get it for you. Mom asked you to meet her at their bedroom before heading downstairs, he said while walking towards my luggage. Okay, I said as I walked out of the room to my parents' room. Mom, you asked for me, I asked her as I walked in, and I saw her coming out of their closet with a small jewelry box in her hand. Yeah, I do. I want to give you this before you leave, she said, coming near me and holding out a beautiful sterling silver necklace in her hands with a clover shaped with an emerald pendant and a howling wolf with emerald eyes pendant. Your birth mother, Chelsea, gave this chain with clover pendant to me to give you when you are ready. I think you are ready now. And I added a little of me on it too by adding the wolf pendant, so you will have both your mothers with you on this new venture you are in. She turned me facing the mirror and put on the necklace on me. I couldn't help but admire the token of love. Thank you, Mom. It's beautiful. The emerald is complementing your eyes. It looks beautiful on you. You know, when I first saw you under that table, it is your big green eyes that caught me first. My green-eyed monster, she said, giving me a pinch on the cheeks. Come, let's go downstairs. Everyone is waiting for you. As we walked down the stairs, I saw my whole family, uncles, aunts and friends waiting to bid farewell. I went to each and everyone saying the byes and hugging them while Mom went to Dad and stood by him. Hi guys, I said as we descended the stairs to everyone waiting downstairs to see me off. Please don't make this more awkward with all the mushy goodbyes. You know I hate those. We did not come to say goodbyes, darling, said Aunt Melissa, Uncle Jace's wife. We came to see the big bad alpha cry. And everyone burst out laughing. Even Dad joins in while walking towards me and engulfing me in his big bear hug. Be a good girl while you are there, okay? No boy business, and keep up with your training, he told me, patting my shoulder and guiding me to the car. And call every day. We will all going to miss you. I'm gonna miss you too, Daddy. I am gonna miss you all, I told to everyone, and my mom and siblings joined in on a group hug. Okay. We should start at least now, Rosie, or we won't make it there on time, said Patrick, our pack warrior who is assigned to accompany me to Red Crescent. Coming. Just 2 minutes. I called out to him. Okay guys, be good for Mom and Dad, okay? I told my siblings as I engulfed each of them in a hug. And after giving a final hug to Mom, I turned and walked fast to the car, afraid that someone will yell goodbye to me. As I got into the car, I turned around and waved at all of them. Patrick started the car and off we go. And I am ready for a new chapter on the book of my life.